Amid one of the greatest battlefields of the animal kingdom, where survival is the ultimate law, the struggle never ceases. As the sun blazes across the sky, scorching every inch of the land, each creature must fight against thirst, hunger, and the predators lurking in the sunlit shadows. But when night falls, darkness takes control, concealing the silent footsteps of nocturnal assassins. The hot wind sweeps across Africa's brittle grasslands, breathing life into the wilderness while carrying the scent of death. Every movement has a purpose. Every breath is filled with anticipation. The fastest hunters, the towering giants, the master predators, and the most cunning survivors. All are drawn into a ruthless arena where a single mistake can mean the end. Here, the hunter can become the hunted at any moment. Welcome to the tales of the most brutal predators of the African savanna. On this vast earth, where nature's harshness forges the essence of survival, there lies a great untamed kingdom stretching from horizon to horizon, the African savanna. This is not only one of the largest ecosystems on the planet, but also the most unforgiving battleground for all who call it home. Covering 65% of the continent's landmass, these endless grasslands span hundreds of miles, intertwined with mighty rivers like the Nile and the Zambezi, sustaining both predator and prey in their relentless struggle against hunger and thirst. Serengeti, Masai Mara, Kruger, Kalahari. From East Africa to the south, even reaching into the west, this land bears the mark of creation, where the sun shows no mercy and death lurks in every shadowed step. When the brilliant sun illuminates the vast grasslands, every creature must awaken. Light is not just the giver of life, it is a cold, unforgiving judge, exposing even the slightest movement of predator and prey alike. Here, there is no darkness to hide in, no mercy for the weak. Amid the relentless heat, God's most elite predator emerges from the morning mist, the cheetah, Acinonyx jubatus, the embodiment of speed, the arrow of the savannah. With a slender yet powerful frame, it surges forward like a thunderstorm, cutting across the scorched grasslands as if God himself had breathed the spirit of the wind into its legs. The cheetah is not the strongest, it is not the fiercest, but it is the fastest creature nature has ever bestowed upon this world. With lightning speed reaching up to 70 miles per hour, it does not need to fight. It hunts with pure velocity, overtaking its prey before they even realize their fate. The fragile young Thompson's gazelles, the inexperienced zebras, they cannot escape. For death itself has taken the form of the cheetah's legs. With eyes as sharp as a blade slicing through the mist, the cheetah is not just a fast runner, It is a master of patience and calculation. Unlike other predators that rely on brute strength or numbers, it is a solitary hunter, a ghost, gliding across the savannah, as light as the wind yet carrying the weight of death. Before committing to the hunt, the cheetah does not rush. It meticulously selects its prey, targeting only the weak or the unwary. From afar, it blends into the withered golden grass, lowering its body, every muscle taut like a bowstring waiting to be released. It waits, an unwavering patience without a single wasted motion. And then, the moment arrives. When a Thompson's gazelle lets its guard down, when a young zebra lingers a second too long, that is when the Jeppa becomes a living arrow, a golden streak flashing beyond its prey's perception. The Jeppa does not pounce like a lion, nor does it persistently pursue like a pack of hyenas. It wields its speed like a blade, severing all hope of escape. As the distance closes, it shifts tactics, an abrupt turn, explosive strides bursting with power, and then with a single leap, its razor-sharp claws hook onto the prey's hind leg, throwing it off balance. A sharp cry pierces the air, a cloud of dust rises, and when everything settles, the cheetah has its fangs pressed against the prey's throat, silencing its life in a whisper. No roars, no prolonged struggle. Only the absolute precision of a predator born to hunt with speed and strategy. It lingers for a moment, breath still heavy, eyes still gleaming with vigilance. Because even the fastest hunter is not the strongest. Lions and hyenas could appear at any moment, ready to steal its hard-earned prize. But such is the law of this unforgiving land, where only the swiftest and the smartest can survive. The cheetah, with legs carrying the spirit of the wind, is always the first to cross the finish line of the hunt. Across the vast grasslands of the African savanna, where the chase never ceases, a master predator rises, the African wild dog. God did not create them to be the strongest, but to be the most relentless warriors, the ones who never give up. Scientifically known as Lycaon pictus, these hunters boast an astonishing success rate of up to 80%, higher than any other predator in the savannah. Other hunters rely on brute strength, solitude, or sheer luck. But the African wild dog thrives on unity, masterful strategy, and absolute patience. They do not hunt with brute force, but with intelligence and unwavering loyalty to their pack, a gift bestowed upon them by God alone. More than just persistent hunters, they are masters of adaptation. Their presence is not confined to the open plains. They venture into territories claimed by leopards, hyenas, those who rule the night. Even more, they do not fear encroaching on landscapes reshaped by humans, farmlands, degraded ecosystems, places where nature has been disrupted. For God did not create them to succumb to hardship, but to conquer it. Lean yet powerful, their long, muscular legs are built for endurance. They do not merely run, they glide across the plains, soaring over the savannah like wild gusts of wind, unstoppable. A unique trait, a divine signature. Each paw bears only 4 toes, unlike any other canine species. A small detail, yet one that transforms them into supreme hunters, slipping effortlessly through the endless grasslands. Their patchwork coats, black, gold, white, and brown, are not just marks of wild beauty, but a perfect camouflage. Each individual is a one-of-a-kind masterpiece of God, no two alike, allowing them to recognize their kin amidst the vast dangers of the wilderness. But above all, their greatest weapon is the power of the pack. Unlike solitary big cats, African wild dogs live and fight together. A pack often consists of 10 to 20 members, each with a role, each with a purpose. Their communication is not just through eye contact, but through howls, barks, and even the subtlest body movements. And when the hunt begins, every individual becomes a vital piece in God's flawless design for the ultimate pursuit. Prey, like Thompson's gazelles and zebras, they are swift enough to catch smaller animals like hares and birds. But what makes them unstoppable on the savannah is their hunting style, collective, coordinated, and relentless. While some lead the chase, others flank from the sides, cutting off any chance of escape. They do not give their prey a moment to fight back. A flawless hunt, a symphony of patience and strategy, a masterpiece that only God himself could have designed. Yet, even as they dominate the plains, they face their greatest challenge, survival in the unforgiving heat. They do not roar like lions, they do not have the claws of leopards, but they possess something no other predator does: endless endurance. They can run over 30 miles a day without rest, without stopping, without faltering. God gifted them the resilience to withstand the scorching savannah, but even the toughest warriors must choose their battles wisely. They hunt in the early morning or late afternoon, when the sun has yet to turn the land into a furnace, because here, food is never abundant, and every meal is a fight. The strongest are not those who are the most ruthless, but those who know how to endure. African wild dogs are more than skilled hunters. They are phantoms of the grasslands, winds that never stop, warriors shaped by God to prove that unity can overcome brute strength. They are not the kings of the savannah, but they are the ones who cannot be defeated on their battlefield. No prey escapes them. No distance is too great. They are God's warriors, relentless hunters, predators who never tire. And across the sun-scorched plains where life and death are separated by a single breath, the pack marches on, a living legend, undefeated. Across the vast grasslands of the African savannah, where the sun scorches the earth and the night conceals deadly mysteries, one predator stands atop the food chain, a ruler without a throne, a symbol of absolute power. The lion, the king of the savannah. More than just a predator, the lion is the embodiment of authority, strategy, and survival. Scientifically known as Panthera leo, they are the only cats in the world that live in prides, a kingdom where each member serves a divine purpose. The males are warriors, defending their territory, clashing with challengers, battling hyenas and leopards. The females are master hunters, relying on speed, strategy, and teamwork to bring down prey many times their size. And through this unbreakable bond, they do not just survive, they reign over the endless plains. A lion pride's territory can stretch up to 100 square miles, a domain ruled by claws and thunderous roars that echo across the horizon. As the second largest big cat after the Siberian tiger, a male lion can weigh 330 to 550 pounds, while the smaller lionesses range from 260 to 400 pounds. Yet despite the size difference, each plays an irreplaceable role. And to keep their throne, they must always adapt, always wait, always hunt. Lions are not bound by day or night. They hunt whenever the opportunity arises. But they prefer the darkness when the shadows become their allies, when prey like zebras and antelopes grow sluggish, when poor vision makes them easy targets. But lions are unlike other predators. God granted them a gift, the tapetum lucidum, a reflective layer in their eyes that allows them to see through the night. Every movement, every trembling breath, every fearful heartbeat of their prey is laid bare before them. And when the moment comes, they strike without hesitation. Lions are not solitary hunters, they are tactical masterminds. The lionesses surround their prey, closing off every escape route. A lightning-fast pounce, a vice-like grip on the throat. Resistance is futile. A royal feast, a triumphant symphony of the rulers. Powerful leaps, fangs up to 2.7 inches long, sharp enough to pierce the thickest hides, muscular limbs delivering the death grip. Even Cape buffaloes weighing 5 times more cannot escape their fate. But even after a successful hunt, the battle is not over. The savannah does not forgive the weak. Spotted hyenas, bold and ruthless, lurk at the edges of the kill, waiting for the lions to let their guard down before launching their assault. They do not win through strength, but through sheer numbers. A pack of hyenas can force lions to abandon their hard-earned prize. God gave lions not just strength, but patience and wisdom. When the sun blazes high and the heat scorches the savannah, they do not waste their energy recklessly. They seek shade, resting beneath acacia trees, waiting for the golden hour. During the dry months, they can spend up to 20 hours a day conserving energy, knowing that in this unforgiving land, the survivor is not the strongest, but the smartest. For thousands of years, lions have kept their throne, not just through raw power, but through unmatched strategy, discipline, and an unyielding will. Across the golden plains, beneath the setting sun, amid hunts bathed in blood and roars that shake the heavens, a legend endures. The legend of the kings of the savannah, the eternal rulers, the warriors, carrying the spirit of God. If the lion is the ruler of the African savannah, then the Nile crocodile is the undisputed lord of the freshwater realm. A silent yet deadly force, a phantom lurking beneath the murky waters, an apex predator unbound by day or night. The Nile crocodile, Crocodilus niloticus, is the embodiment of patience, of absolute power, of a creature that knows no failure. As the second largest reptile in the world, surpassed only by the saltwater crocodile, the Nile crocodile is a semi-aquatic monster, spending most of its life gliding beneath the water's surface, its cold, calculating eyes watching every movement along the riverbanks. It does not need to chase its prey, it does not need speed. It is the master of ambush, the artist of waiting, the bringer of silent death. Thirsty zebras, distracted antelopes, buffaloes weighing thousands of pounds, stepping into what seems like a peaceful river, unaware that nature's most perfect trap lies beneath the surface. They do not know that the predator has been there all along, motionless like a drifting log, waiting for the perfect moment. And then in a fraction of a second, death strikes. A lightning-fast lunge, a bite force exceeding 5,000 pounds per square inch, stronger than any predator on land. A lion's teeth are designed for tearing flesh, but the Nile crocodile doesn't need to tear. It needs only to hold. Its jaws are biological steel traps, built not for slicing, but for crushing. Once a victim is caught in its grip, there is no escape. As an apex predator, the Nile crocodile faces little competition. No rival dares challenge it in the water. It does not need to fight lions for territory, nor does it fear hyenas stealing its kill. It exists above them all, a phantom of the river, a creature of the eternal. But what makes the Nile crocodile truly legendary is not just its power. God granted it something greater than brute strength, the gift of endurance. Its armor-like skin is nearly impenetrable. Its teeth regenerate for a lifetime. It can go without food for months, even a year if necessary. When droughts turn the savannah into a barren wasteland, when rivers dry up and lions, leopards and hyenas are forced to wander in search of food, the Nile crocodile simply buries itself in the mud and waits. It does not fall to time. That is why it can live 40 to 100 years, watching generations rise and fall, witnessing the reign of countless rulers across the African plains. If the lion is the king of the savannah, then the Nile crocodile is the god of the river, a symbol of patience, an apex predator whose dominion never fades. And as the night falls, as unsuspecting creatures lower their heads to drink, as the moonlight shimmers upon the still water, one hunter remains in waiting, a hunter that never sleeps, a hunter that God created to be the eternal terror of the freshwater world. After a scorching day, filled with blood-soaked hunts, night descends, draping the African savannah in a veil of mystery. But this land is never truly at peace. When the sun sinks beyond the horizon and the moonlight shimmers over dew-laden grass, the predators of the dark awaken. Darkness does not bring safety. It only makes the vulnerable even weaker, more prone to fatal mistakes. Exhausted prey, worn down by the relentless heat, now move sluggishly, their senses dulled. With the searing sun no longer a threat, the masters of the hunt emerge, turning the night into a silent dance of death beneath the moon. The savannah at night is not loud, but it is far from quiet. It hums with whispers of the wind, the faintest rustling of unseen footsteps, the rapid heartbeat of creatures clinging to life in the shadow of death. And within this stillness, one predator reigns supreme, a hunter whose presence is only known when it's too late. A gold-spotted phantom slinking through the night like a ghost, the leopard, the invisible ruler of darkness. The leopard, Panthera pardus, the most elusive of the big cats, is a mid-sized predator with strength far beyond what its frame suggests. No pride, no deafening roars, only the silence of death. Unlike lions who dominate with sheer force, the leopard is a master of stealth and ambush. It does not rely on numbers, nor does it need long chases. Instead, it hunts with flawless precision, blending seamlessly into the night, delivering a single decisive strike, one that never misses. The leopard's body is a masterpiece of speed, agility, and explosive power. A full-grown male can weigh up to 200 pounds, while females are lighter at around 90 pounds. But every muscle in their frame is fine-tuned for stealth, swiftness, and sudden, devastating attacks. Its golden coat, adorned with black rosette spots, acts as the ultimate camouflage, allowing it to vanish into the tall grasses and scattered rocks of the savanna. It does not hunt like a lion. No noise, no spectacle. It is the wind, the shadow, the phantom that comes unseen and leaves unnoticed. When the distance is closed, the leopard does not need a long pursuit. A lightning-fast lunge, claws like daggers sinking deep, a precise bite to the throat, and in mere seconds, life is extinguished in absolute silence. No struggle, no fight, only an ending that was always inevitable. But speed and agility are not the leopard's deadliest weapons. It possesses something no other big cat does, a kingdom above the ground. A leopard's ability to climb is not just a hunting tool, it is the key to its survival in a world ruled by stronger rivals. In a land where lions steal through brute force and hyenas overwhelm in numbers, the leopard has perfected the art of evasion. It does not fight, it rises above them all. After a successful hunt, while other predators must defend their meal, the leopard simply drags its prey skyward, to the sturdy branches of ancient trees where no other carnivore can reach. A full-grown leopard can haul a dead animal twice its weight up to 20 feet into the treetops, a feat no other predator can achieve. Up there, it dines in peace, while the scavengers below can do nothing but stare in frustration. In the scorching heat of the savanna, the leopard hides beneath the shade of a tree, silently observing the world as it moves around it. It can hunt during the night, but when the golden sun stretches across the grasslands, that is when it truly dominates the game. With cunning, with stillness, with footsteps as light as breath, the leopard does not need to fight, does not need to boast. It requires only an opportunity, a moment, a single, precise step. And that alone is enough to turn it into the nightmare of any creature foolish enough to drop its guard under the blazing sun. Beneath the fiery sky, as the wind whispers through the treetops, as silence itself becomes the greatest fear, the leopard moves, a phantom unseen. Not the biggest, not the strongest, but without a doubt, the most dangerous hunter of daylight. Across the endless grasslands, between the dense trees, within the lethal stillness of the savanna, the leopard still hunts, still rules, still writes the legend of an undefeated shadow beneath the sun.
Under the dim glow of twilight, as the sun slowly retreats beyond the horizon, an eerie laughter echoes across the African savanna, haunting, wild, and chilling. A sound that sends fear rippling through every corner of the wilderness. It is the signal that the savanna's most cunning predators have begun their game. The spotted hyena, Crocuta crocuta, is far more than the scavenger many believe it to be. It is a masterful hunter, a warrior of the twilight, an opportunist that thrives on the edge of survival and domination. The green bush viper carries within it the patience of the earth, the cruelty of the desert. It does not hunt with speed. It does not chase its prey. It waits. Hidden among tall grass, it becomes one with nature, its cold, unblinking eyes locked onto the footsteps of creatures unaware they are walking straight into the jaws of death. One misstep, one careless movement, one slight brush against what appears to be nothing more than a harmless leaf, and in a quarter of a second, the viper strikes. A flash, a bite. A single drop of venom flows like a curse, spreading through the body, destroying cells, paralyzing its prey in agony beyond salvation. This is not a battle. This is an execution. But there is one snake that does not wait like the viper. It does not warn like the cobra. The black mamba, the god of speed among serpents. While other snakes hide and wait, the black mamba hunts. It does not slither. It glides over the earth like a shadow, faster than any creature can react. At speeds of up to 12 miles per hour, it does not give its prey even the illusion of escape. And when it attacks, it is not a single strike. It is a storm of death. Unlike most snakes, which bite once and retreat, the black mamba strikes over and over again, injecting venom with every bite, ensuring that no hope of survival remains. Its venom works so quickly that a human can collapse in under 20 minutes. Not from blood loss, not from injury, but because their nervous system has completely shut down, their heart too weak to beat. No creature in Africa dares challenge the black mamba. Not because it is the biggest, not because it is the strongest, but because it is the fastest, because it is the most ruthless, because when it decides to kill, there is no mercy. God created the lion to rule the grasslands. He created the crocodile to dominate the rivers, but he created snakes to need no territory, no pact, no brute strength. They do not fight for dominance. They do not announce their power. They need only a moment, a precise strike, a single drop of venom, and that is enough to make them legends of the African wilderness, undefeated, unchallenged, the silent gods of death. Under the dim glow of twilight, as the sun sinks beyond the horizon, an eerie laughter echoes across the African savanna, haunting, untamed, and chilling. A sound that sends shivers through every corner of the wilderness. It is the signal that the savanna's most cunning predators have begun their game. The spotted hyena, Crocuta crocuta, is far more than the scavenger many believe it to be. It is a masterful hunter, a warrior of dusk, an opportunist that thrives on the edge of survival and domination. Not of the day, not entirely of the night. The spotted hyena is a predator of the in-between, most active during the fleeting moments between two worlds. As darkness creeps across the grasslands, as the last golden rays of sunlight fade into the horizon, the hyenas rise. They move silently through the tall grasses, traverse sparse woodlands, and even navigate the arid semi-deserts. No terrain can stop them. No challenge can make them falter. They are not the fastest runners, but they are the most relentless. With incredible endurance and powerful limbs, spotted hyenas can chase their prey for miles without exhaustion. They are not just hunters. They are masters of adaptation, utilizing every last drop of twilight's fading light to stalk, ambush, and execute the perfect hunt. The savanna is no place for the weak, and no one understands this better than the spotted hyena. They do not roam alone like leopards. They do not operate in small groups like lions. They live within powerful clans, where every individual has a place within nature's most brutal hierarchy. A spotted hyena clan can reach up to 80 members, led not by the strongest males, but by dominant females, the true rulers of the hyena empire. In their world, females are larger, stronger, and more aggressive. It is they who make the decisions. Every kill, every hunt, every conflict is dictated by a strict social order, where only the most formidable hold their place at the top. The alpha females control access to food, maintain order within the clan, and lead battles over territory and against rival predators. And when the hyenas move, the entire savanna listens. their footsteps rustling through the grass, their eerie laughter ringing across the dusk. Though labeled scavengers, spotted hyenas are ruthless killers, some of the most efficient hunters of the African wilderness. They can hunt alone, in small groups, or launch devastating full-scale attacks as an entire clan. When hunting together, they encircle their prey, cutting off all escape routes, using sheer numbers and overwhelming strategy to wear their victims down. A gazelle may be faster. A zebra may have a powerful kick, but they cannot outlast the endurance of the hyena. They cannot escape a hunt that lasts for hours, where every step only drains them further. And when the hyenas close in, death does not come swiftly. They do not kill with a clean throat bite like lions. They do not lunge in a flash like leopards. They rip, they tear, they crush, while their prey is still alive. But what makes them true rulers of the savannah is not just how they kill, it's how they consume everything. With one of the most powerful digestive systems in the animal kingdom, they can devour bone, hide, tendons, and flesh. Nothing is wasted. They do not just hunt, they take everything nature offers. For millions of years, spotted hyenas have evolved into perfect survival machines, predators that cannot be outlasted, outwitted, or outmaneuvered. But even as they dominate the land, even as they endure brutal droughts, endless hunger, and fierce competition from lions and leopards, they now face a new enemy, nature itself. Climate change is shortening the rainy seasons, drying up the water holes, thinning the once abundant herds. Yet, if any creature can adapt, if any creature can survive the increasing brutality of the wild, it is the spotted hyena. Because they do not just survive, they conquer. When God created the African savanna, He did not only shape its fearsome predators, the lions, the leopards, the hyenas. He did not only send scorching winds across its sunburnt plains or carve rivers teeming with danger. He created beings that did not roar, did not hunt, did not rule with brute force, yet became the very lifeblood of this land. He created the wildebeest. They have no sharp claws like the great cats, no bone-crushing jaws like the Nile crocodile, no armored hide like the rhinine. Wildebeest are not warriors of battle, but warriors of survival. God did not create them to win through power or dominance. He created them to win through endurance, through adaptation, through an irreplaceable purpose that no other creature could fulfill. And so other creature could fulfill. And so, from the very first moment they take their first breath, they never stop moving. God did not grant the wildebeest a fixed territory, nor did He place them at the top of the food chain. He set them in motion, ensuring that the savanna would never stand still, that life would never fade, that the land would forever pulse with energy. Each year, millions of wildebeest embark on an endless journey across sun-scorched plains, through predator-infested rivers, weaving through sparse woodlands, driven by a purpose greater than themselves. This is not just migration. This is the heartbeat of the savanna. Wherever they move, they bring life with them. Their hooves trample over dry, lifeless grass, making way for fresh green shoots to sprout anew. Their endless marching carves pathways into the earth, allowing rainwater to seep deep into the soil, nourishing the land itself. They do not simply search for survival. They unknowingly sustain the very ecosystem they roam. If wildebeest were to vanish, the grasslands would wither, the lions would starve, the hyenas would wander in desperation, the rivers would fall silent, no longer erupting into foaming chaos as thousands of hooves charge across. Without them, the savanna would no longer be the savanna. Wildebeest are more than prey. They unarmed warriors, the fortressless guardians, the unsung souls whose greatness does not require a crown. And when one wildebeest falls, the cycle of life continues, just as God intended since the dawn of time. The lions take the first feast. The hyenas and jackals tear away the remains. The vultures strip every last scrap of flesh. The soil, rich with unseen life, reclaims what is left, returning it to the earth, feeding the grass, restarting the cycle anew. Nothing is wasted. No part of them is lost. Even in death, the wildebeest gives back to the savanna. They do not live for themselves, they live for the land. Without claws, without fangs, wildebeest are not defenseless. Every year, they undertake a grueling 600-kilometer journey, crossing landscapes so treacherous that even the mightiest predators hesitate. They face the Mara River, where Nile crocodiles lie in wait beneath the murky waters, ready to seize any that falter. They tread through the territory of lions, where golden eyes glimmer in the grass, watching, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. They press forward under the merciless sun, where exhaustion claims the weak, where only the strongest will push onward. But they do not stop. They do not waver. For within them, God placed something no predator could take away, an unbreakable will to move forward. Without the wildebeest, lions would have no prey. Hyenas would have no food. The grasslands would fade to dust. The forests would fall silent, empty of the rhythmic beat of hooves echoing at dusk. They do not fight for dominance. They do not hunt for power. They do not roar for glory. But God granted them a purpose greater than any other creature. Their role is to sustain the very life of the land itself. And so, as the sun sets over the savanna, as endless herds of wildebeest move forward beneath the golden sky, they are not merely migrating. They are the pulse of an entire ecosystem, the breath of nature itself, the eternal force that keeps the savanna alive. They are not just prey. They are the lifeblood of the grasslands, the voice of nature, the warriors who never stop moving forward. And as long as the herds continue their journey, the savanna will breathe, nature will thrive, and God's blessing will remain upon this land. When God created the African savanna, He did not just fill it with fearsome predators, nor did He merely unleash the endless herds of wildebeest that fuel its pulse, or carve rivers that conceal death beneath their surface. He created something else, a creature forged with the strength of the earth, the patience of stone, and the spirit of ancient warriors. He created the rhino, the living titan of the grasslands. Rhinos are not hunters. Rhinos do not need speed. Rhinos do not require venom or sharp claws. God did not create them to kill. He created them to protect. He did not grant them ruthlessness, but resilience. He did not place them in a race for dominance, but on a journey longer than any other creature, a journey spanning millions of years, where they became symbols of power, of endurance, and of an unshaken kingdom without a throne. There is no creature quite like the rhino. They do not stalk prey in the shadows. They do not chase or ambush. They do not rely on numbers for survival. They walk slowly, silently, yet with a presence that commands respect, as if they have witnessed the birth and fall of countless generations before them. But God did not create them just to be strong. He created them to be protectors. When a rhino moves, it does not just wander through the plains. It shapes the very land beneath its feet. They break through dense brush, clearing paths for smaller animals. They carve trails that lead to water, ensuring no creature goes thirsty. They graze the land, preventing overgrowth and keeping the ecosystem in perfect balance. They are not just a part of nature. They are the silent keepers of its harmony. Every step they take does not just mark their existence, it upholds the eternal cycle of the wild. Elephants do not hunt. They do not stalk in the shadows. They do not need claws or speed to survive. They do not fight over territory. They do not need to prove their strength. Because no creature dares challenge their presence, every step of an elephant is not a mark of destruction, but of life itself. They cross the savanna, stirring up dust and shaking the earth, not to devastate, but to renew. For millions of years, elephants have stood as giants, unchanged, unmoved, watching the shifting tides of nature, enduring the storms of time. They are among the oldest living creatures to walk the earth, a species that carries the memories of an ancient world. No natural predator threatens them. No creature makes them tremble. And when needed, they can charge at 25 miles per hour, toppling anything in their path. A swing of their trunk can send a lion crashing into the dust. A single stomp can crush any fool who dares to test their might. But elephants do not seek violence. They do not chase. They do not kill. They do not conquer through brute force. Predators may hunt in packs. They may lurk in the darkness. But when they face a fully grown elephant, they understand this is a battle they cannot win. God granted elephants power not for destruction, but for protection. They are the guardians of nature, the keepers of the earth's balance. Strength alone does not define them. They carry a mind beyond any other creature, an intelligence that outlasts generations. They remember every path to water, every land that once sustained their ancestors. When an elder falls, the herd gathers, touching its body, mourning in silence, then remembering that place forever. If one of their own is taken by death, if blood stains the ground, they return. They stop. They trace their trunks over the broken tusks, over the bones left behind, mourning, remembering. They do not simply exist. They carry history itself. A calf is never abandoned, no matter how weak. A lone elephant never stands alone. When danger approaches, the herd forms a wall of steel, encircling the young, pushing back threats with nothing but their unity. The uncrowned gods of Africa, no other creature can replace them. They are not kings, but they are the foundation of an entire empire. They are not predators, but they shape the fate of the land itself. They do not need claws, but they will never be conquered. God did not create elephants to be ruled. He created them to protect. And as long as a single elephant still walks beneath the African sun, the savanna will still breathe. Nature will still pulse with life. And the winds will still carry the echoes of the greatest being God has ever placed upon this earth.
Where blizzards scream without end, and where life must fight for every hour of existence. Born in the heart of a frozen ocean, the polar bear is the embodiment of evolutionary perfection. Its double-layered fur is a masterpiece of biology. A dense, soft undercoat that traps warmth, and an outer layer up to 15 centimeters long, reflective and water-repellent, creating an insulating layer of air that keeps its body warm, even in sub-zero temperatures. Beneath that fur lies a 10 centimeter thick layer of fat, a natural armor that provides buoyancy, insulation, and protection. Thanks to this, polar bears can swim over 100 kilometers, sometimes for 9-10 days without rest, crossing 400 kilometers of icy waves, from one drifting iceberg to another in search of prey. Their paws, up to 30 centimeters wide, allow them to move confidently across deep snow and serve as powerful paddles in the water. Every stroke is a rhythm of power and grace, a testament to nature's ultimate design for survival in a frozen world. 1 minute of a seal's guard down and the polar bear will be returned to God. Their main prey is the seal, especially ringed and bearded seals. A single adult seal provides over 55,000 calories, enough to sustain a polar bear for days in this harsh, energy-demanding environment. Polar bears are masters of patience and precision. They can detect the scent of a seal from 1.6 kilometers away and sense movement beneath a meter of solid ice. They wait motionless for hours, watching for the moment when their prey surfaces to breathe. And when it comes, a single strike with a force of 4,500 to 5,000 newtons is enough to end the hunt instantly. Clean, swift, and deadly. As winter tightens its grip, the mother bear seeks refuge in an ice den. There, in the silent darkness, she hibernates, conceives, and gives birth. When spring returns and sunlight pierces the entrance, her tiny cubs take their first steps into the blinding white world. For the next 2 to 3 years, the mother teaches them everything: how to move across snow, how to hunt, how to wait, and how to read every whisper of wind, water, and ice. It is a sacred passage of survival where wisdom, not strength, ensures life. With its white fur, raw power, and flawless adaptation, the polar bear stands as a living monument to nature's resilience, a survival machine shaped by hundreds of thousands of years of evolution. Yet the Arctic is not ruled by predators alone. To preserve the fragile balance of this frozen realm, nature forged another symbol of endurance: the Siberian reindeer. Thousands move together in slow, steady migrations, crossing snow-laden pine forests and the frozen tundra. searching for the faintest patches of grass hidden beneath the snow. They can withstand temperatures as low as 50 degrees Celsius. Thanks to their two-layered fur, a tough, windproof outer coat, and a soft underlayer of hollow hairs that trap heat. Each hair functions like a natural thermal tube, maintaining body temperature even in raging blizzards. Their broad, flexible hooves prevent them from sinking into snow, and as winter deepens, their hooves harden, allowing them to dig through snow to find lichen and moss, the only food in this white wasteland. The reindeer are the heartbeat of the frozen plains, the lifeblood of countless other creatures. They forge paths through the snow, leaving trails that birds, foxes, and wolves follow to survive. The wolves rushed like arrows, but the reindeer ran in panic. Because they knew if they were late, they would get a ticket back to God. Amid silver light and cutting winds, Siberia emerges as a world both brutal and magnificent, a natural stage where every creature, great or small, plays its part in an eternal symphony of survival. In a land where death lurks at every turn, life burns brighter than ever, for it is in adversity that nature creates its greatest masterpieces. The true wonder of the Siberian reindeer lies within each strand of its fur. What seems like simple hair is, in fact, a masterpiece of evolution engineered for one purpose only: to help it survive and move through an endless world of ice and snow. Each hair is hollow, like a tiny air-filled tube. This unique structure traps cold air inside, creating an extraordinary layer of insulation that prevents heat loss in sub-zero temperatures. At the same time, it makes the reindeer's massive body much lighter than it appears, allowing it to move effortlessly across deep snow, as if gliding over a soft white carpet, light, steady, and graceful. This adaptation has allowed reindeer to survive tens of thousands of years of glacial winters and become the only large mammal capable of migrating thousands of kilometers across the frozen tundra without exhaustion. Beyond their fur, the reindeer's hooves are among nature's most remarkable tools of survival. Their flexible, shape-shifting design allows them to adapt to any terrain, a near supernatural ability perfected through millennia of evolution. When moving across soft snow, the hooves spread wide, increasing surface contact and preventing them from sinking, like wearing built-in snowshoes. This lets entire herds move rhythmically, one step after another, across snow several meters deep while maintaining a steady pace. In contrast, when traveling over hard ice or slippery rock, the hooves contract, becoming sharp and blade-like. This gives the reindeer a firm grip, preventing slips and falls. Their crescent-shaped edges allow them to stand firm, climb slopes, and cross glaciers without slowing down. Another subtle but ingenious detail: during winter, the pads beneath their hooves shrink, preventing the heel from touching the freezing ground. This minimizes heat loss through their feet, allowing them to stand, walk, or even sleep on ice for hours without frostbite. When summer returns, the pads expand again, forming a soft cushion that provides traction on muddy terrain, a flawless demonstration of natural adaptability rarely seen in the animal kingdom. With swift legs, strong muscles, and a body built for endurance, the Siberian reindeer stands as a symbol of northern resilience. Each year, it travels over 5,000 kilometers, the longest land migration of any mammal on Earth. From the dense taiga forests to the barren tundra plains, across glaciers, swamps, and permafrost, Herds move in rhythm with an ancient instinct. A song of survival written deep in their DNA thousands of years ago. In spring, they migrate north, following the melting ice and the first sprouts of new grass. In autumn, they journey south again, racing against the first snowstorms. Though their path stretches for thousands of kilometers, they always return to the same places, the same seasons, as if guided by the silent heartbeat of the earth itself. From afar, thousands of reindeer flow across the white tundra, each step drawing living patterns on the frozen canvas. It is more than a migration. It is a symphony of life in a world ruled by ice. In a land where death can come at any moment, the reindeer marches on, steady, silent, and proud. Because more than any other creature, it knows that life is not luck, it is courage. When autumn arrives, the sun sinks low along the horizon and northern winds carry the first chill of winter. The great migration begins. Hundreds of thousands move together. A living river flowing across a white wilderness. One of the most breathtaking and emotional spectacles in the natural world. They travel without rest, 20 to 50 kilometers a day. Each step in rhythm like an ancient song. Not one is left behind, for in this journey, their greatest strength lies in unity. As winter tightens its icy grip on Siberia, food across the tundra grows scarce. The herds turn southward, seeking the shelter of the taiga forests, where the cold is less brutal and patches of green moss hide beneath the snow. Precious energy that sustains them through the darkest months of the year. A single herd can number up to 100,000 individuals, a sea of life in motion, each step carving paths of survival across the frozen desert. Yet migration is not merely a search for food. It is the circulatory system of nature, a grand design through which life renews itself. As the herds move, they carry nutrients in their droppings and shed fur, enriching the soil, nurturing new growth, and enabling countless other species to survive. They are nature's couriers of life, each step sowing the seeds of renewal. To survive the merciless months of winter, reindeer have evolved into masters of adaptation. While many herbivores are stopped by thick snow, reindeer use their sharp hooves like shovels, digging deep to uncover moss and lichen, their only food in the frozen wilderness. Their hooves transform with the terrain. On soft snow, they spread wide like natural snowshoes, allowing them to move gracefully without sinking. On hard ice, the hooves contract, their edges harden like blades, gripping the slick surface so they can cross glaciers without slipping. Beneath the hooves, the pads expand and contract with the seasons, shrinking in winter to preserve warmth, expanding in summer for traction on soil and rock. It is a perfect self-adjusting system, allowing them to stand firm, dig, and travel endlessly across all terrain. Each migration is a trial, a test of endurance and time. Yet through this hardship shines the reindeer's quiet heroism. They march through blizzards, cross glaciers and rivers, climb ridges, and never stop moving. Their eyes reflect the faint Arctic sun. Their hooves stir up a mist of frost, and their breath joins the wind. A symphony of life echoing through the white silence. Their antlers tell another story of wonder. They grow at a rate of 2.5 centimeters per day, faster than any other antlered animal on Earth. In males, they can reach 130 centimeters long and weigh up to 15 kilograms. A natural sculpture forged from bone, blood, and time. In autumn, when the mating season begins, the males clash in fierce duels for dominance. The sound of antlers colliding rings out across the tundra, a thunderous melody of strength, instinct, and pride. The victors earn the right to mate, ensuring that only the strongest and most adaptable pass their lineage to the next generation. When spring returns and the ice begins to melt, the females, separate from the herd, seeking sheltered places to give birth. Their newborn calves, fragile yet full of life, stand on their feet within minutes. For in this frozen world, even a moment's weakness can mean death. The wind keeps blowing, snow keeps falling, and the reindeer continue their timeless journey. Year after year, generation after generation, they move onward, an unending current of life flowing through the stillness of ice. Beneath the silver light and the dim shadows of the Arctic, the Siberian reindeer marches on, silent yet steadfast. They need no applause, no witness, for their very existence is already a miracle of nature. In a land where life seems impossible, they prove that true strength is not in ferocity, but in endurance. And across the boundless snows of Siberia, they continue their journey, the eternal breath of the North. But where there is prey, there are predators. And in this realm of snow and wind, the Siberian gray wolf reigns supreme. An unseen king of the frozen plains, silent and terrifying. The wolf, a symbol of intelligence, unity, and primal strength. It seeks no glory, no spotlight, only the echo of its howl in the night. Enough to make even the snow tremble. With a dense, two-layered coat, the wolf is built for survival at 50 degrees Celsius. The outer layer is long, coarse, and water-resistant, while the inner layer is soft, thick, and traps warmth like a living blanket. When summer arrives, it sheds its fur to cool down. And when winter returns, it dons again the silver-gray mantle of the blizzard. The Siberian wolf is a master of strategy and coordination. They do not simply hunt, they calculate. A pack may number from 10 to 20 members, operating like a perfectly trained army. Each wolf has a role, the leader's signal. The strongest strike head-on. The faster ones flank the sides, surrounding and confusing their prey before launching a synchronized attack. It all unfolds in minutes, swift, decisive, and flawlessly executed, as if choreographed by instinct itself. When the prey collapses, snow bursts into the air. The wind carries the breath of life away, and the circle of survival closes once more in silence. A Siberian wolf's bite force reaches 500 psi, strong enough to crush the bones of a full-grown reindeer. Weighing only 40 kilograms, it can bring down prey 10 times its size. Hunting in packs, their success rate reaches 30%, an exceptional figure in the wild. They hunt by sight, by scent, by sound. When one howls, the rest answer, their voices merging into a haunting symphony of instinct and precision. But what makes the wolf truly great is not its strength, it is its endurance and resolve. They can run 40 kilometers a day, and when needed, reach 60 kilometers per hour in pursuit. Some packs have been observed chasing migrating reindeer for over 100 kilometers through deep snow, against the wind, under freezing skies. When food is scarce, they can go 2 weeks without eating, yet keep moving, never giving up. In this merciless world, survival is not merely instinct, it is an art. And yet, the wolf is not the only ruler of Siberia. In the dense taiga forests and snow-capped mountains, another giant reigns in silence, the Siberian brown bear. Unlike the wolf's speed and coordination, the bear relies on raw power and patience. It is a solitary warrior, massive, muscular, and instinctively skilled. Its double-layered fur is both soft and resilient. The outer coat repels water, while the inner traps warmth perfectly. Beneath it lies a thick layer of fat, up to 40% of its body weight, a vital energy reserve from months of hibernation during the long, frozen winter. In summer, when the taiga blooms, the brown bear becomes a voracious forager, eating roots, berries, honey, fish, and even carrion. It can consume twice its body weight in a single day, storing fat for the harsh sleep ahead. Despite its size, a brown bear can run up to 56 kilometers per hour. And a single paw strike with over 600 kilograms of force can kill a full-grown deer instantly. They are patient hunters, standing motionless by rivers for hours, waiting for the precise moment to snatch a salmon. During spawning season, one bear can catch 30 fish a day, a feast before its winter slumber. In the frozen wilderness of Siberia, the brown bear stands as a symbol of strength, intelligence, and endurance, a creature that has conquered the limits of survival itself. Its sense of smell is 2,000 times stronger than that of a human, allowing it to detect food or carrion from as far as 32 kilometers away. When the wind sweeps through the taiga, carrying the faintest trace of life, the brown bear can follow that scent for days. For in a world where hunger is constant, a single smell can mean the difference between life and death. The bear takes every opportunity it can find. A leftover bone, a wounded animal, or the remains abandoned by another predator, all become precious sources of life. With its powerful muscles, immense stamina, and unmatched ability to store energy, the Siberian brown bear has become a master of survival in this frozen inferno. In the final months of summer, it enters a feeding frenzy, consuming up to 20,000 calories a day, or about 30 kilograms of food, from salmon and berries to small animals it can catch. In just a few short months, it may gain as much as 180 kilograms, storing vital fat reserves for the long winter ahead, a winter without light, without birdsong, and without warmth. Then, when snow blankets the earth and silence falls over the forest, the bear retreats into its den and begins a hibernation lasting 5 to 7 months. During this time, its body temperature drops by 37 degrees Celsius, and its heart slows to just a few beats per minute. Its body enters near stasis, yet never decays. Every cell, every organ continues to function, as if nature itself is holding its breath, waiting for rebirth. Without eating or drinking, the bear survives through the perfection of biological design shaped by evolution. Its body is a self-sustaining machine, crafted to endure, adapt, and regenerate. From energy storage to muscle preservation during hibernation, every detail speaks of life's astonishing intelligence. If the brown bear survives through stillness, then on the other side of this icy kingdom, the Siberian tiger reigns through power and dominance. The largest tiger on Earth, it can reach over 3 meters in length and weigh up to 400 kilograms. With shoulders of iron and muscles forged by cold, it can kill a full-grown red deer with a single strike. Its fur is a masterpiece of adaptation. A dense, warm undercoat beneath pale, striped outer fur that blends perfectly with snow. So well that even a reindeer's sharp eyes may not see it until it is only meters away. Unlike the wolves that hunt in packs, the Siberian tiger is a solitary hunter, moving in silence through misty taiga forests. Every step calculated, every gaze a silent sentence of death. It can stalk prey for hours, even days. Hidden behind snow-covered trees, and then explode into action at 80 kilometers per hour. Its strike delivering a force of 5,000 newtons, enough to snap a spine in an instant. But the tiger is more than a killer. It is a keeper of balance. By hunting deer, elk, and wild boar, it prevents overgrazing, allowing plants to regrow and forests to rejuvenate. According to WWF research, areas inhabited by the Siberian tiger show twice the biodiversity. A sign that life flourishes wherever this great predator walks. Thus, the Siberian tiger is not only a symbol of strength, but also a living ecological indicator, a measure of the taiga's health itself. Under the white winter sky of Siberia, amid taiga forests stretching into eternity, a massive silhouette slowly emerges, so naturally a part of the landscape that it seems carved from the wilderness itself. It is the Siberian moose, the largest deer on Earth, and one of the most remarkably adapted creatures to survive in one of the harshest, coldest regions of the planet. In a land where winter lasts half a year and the sun barely glimmers through dense clouds, their very existence is proof of nature's unbreakable resilience. Standing up to 2 meters tall at the shoulder, weighing more than half a ton, and carrying antlers as wide as ancient branches, the moose appears like a silent monarch of the taiga. Yet its enormous size hides surprising grace. It moves lightly through snow-covered forests, weaving between trees with almost no sound. Its wide hooves can spread out like natural snowshoes, allowing it to cross deep snow that few animals could navigate so effortlessly. The moose's body is the product of thousands of years of evolution under brutal cold. Its double-layered coat, soft and dense underneath, coarse and long on the outside, forms a perfect thermal shield, protecting it from winds cold enough to freeze an entire forest in hours. Its digestive system is uniquely designed to process food most animals cannot eat: birch bark, willow branches, and pine shoots buried beneath snow. When Siberian winter tightens its icy grip, when food becomes scarce and temperatures plunge below 40 degrees Celsius, the moose endures. It travels dozens of kilometers each day, searching for low shrubs or willow thickets still hidden beneath the snow. This ability to survive on tough, woody vegetation allows it to withstand the endless, exhausting months of winter without succumbing to hunger. As autumn arrives, the taiga transforms. Golden and crimson leaves create a fiery contrast against the chilling air. This is the moment the bull moose enters its defining season. The rut. Their deep roars echo through the forest, a powerful declaration of dominance. Battles erupt as males clash antler against antler, their strikes ringing like thunder across the frozen ground. Each blow can bend saplings and scatter snow, yet most fights end without fatality. They are contests of strength, not destruction. When early spring melts the snow and brings back a hint of warmth, a newborn calf enters the world. Within minutes, it must stand. Within an hour, it must run. In this unforgiving land, hesitation is death. The calf quickly learns to follow its mother through deep snow, avoiding predators like wolves and brown bears, always searching for the weak and the slow. Despite their strength and remarkable adaptations, Siberian moose now face threats unlike anything evolution prepared them for. Human expansion into the taiga is shrinking their habitat. New roads, logging operations, and mining sites carve the once continuous forest into fragmented patches, disrupting ancient migration paths. Climate change alters winter's behavior, affecting food availability and breeding cycles. Yet even amid these challenges, the moose remains a symbol of resilience, a majestic presence in a land still ruled by nature. They remind us that the fragile balance of Siberia's ecosystem depends on every creature, every forest, every frozen river. And if we fail to protect them, the deep echoing calls of the taiga in autumn, the haunting roars of the Siberian moose, may one day fade into eternal silence. Under the pale winter sun of Siberia, as sharp winds sweep across the barren steppe like they're trying to tear life from the land, a heavy, resonant sound rises, merging with the frozen breath of the earth. It is the footsteps of the Siberian bison, a creature that carries within its body the power of the Ice Age itself, a symbol of endurance, resilience, and unshaken pride in this unforgiving world. No other animal on the northern Siberian plains possesses such a fierce yet majestic presence. With slow, deliberate steps and muscles rippling beneath a thick winter coat, the bison moves like a living boulder, silent, steady, and utterly unstoppable. A full-grown bison can weigh up to 1 ton, stand nearly 2 meters tall, and carry a massive shoulder hump like a small hill. The dense woolly fur around its neck and shoulders forms a natural suit of armor, insulating it even when the cold is harsh enough to make metal brittle. This thickness doesn't just shield it from the cold, it protects against wolf bites, bear strikes, and blizzard winds that stab like 1,000 icy needles. But in Siberia, strength alone is never enough. The bison's body is engineered for survival. Its neck muscles are extraordinarily powerful, allowing it to use its head like a shovel to sweep aside deep layers of snow and uncover the last scraps of dry grass beneath. Each day, a bison can clear dozens of square meters of frozen ground, a simple yet vital survival strategy in winters that last for months. Siberian bison live in herds, and the bond between individuals is one of the most remarkable behaviors in the animal kingdom. When the herd moves, it becomes a single, unified mass, strong animals, taking the outer edges to block the wind, while calves and weaker members stay protected in the center. In a blinding snowstorm, a herd of bison moves like a massive machine, each individual functioning like a cog in an unbreakable system. Their heavy footsteps carve deep trails through the snow pathways that deer, lynx, and foxes often rely on to survive. But danger always lurks on the Siberian steppe. The Siberian gray wolf, the region's most relentless predator, often trails bison herds for days. They don't rush in, they wait. They stay downwind to hide their scent, watching carefully for the old, the injured, or newborn calves. Yet bison are far from easy prey. A single charge from an adult bison can throw a full-grown wolf several meters across the ground. Sometimes, just one thunderous stomp is enough to warn an entire wolf pack to keep their distance. When spring arrives and the ice begins to melt, the earth softens and new shoots of grass emerge. The bison rejuvenate after the exhausting winter. Pregnant females leave the herd briefly to find a quiet, safe place to give birth. A newborn calf takes its first breath in the icy air, fragile and trembling. But within minutes it rises. Within an hour, it must run. There is no room for hesitation. Wolves are always watching, and every weak creature becomes a target. Growing up is a constant battle. Young bison must learn how to find food beneath snow, how to read the wind to sense predators, and how to blend into the herd for protection. As they mature, they must also endure blizzards that darken the sky, the mud of spring melt, and the strange new heat waves brought by climate change. Today, bison no longer roam across all of Siberia as they once did. The ancient grasslands that belonged to them are disappearing under human activity. Logging, mining, new roads, and infrastructure have divided their habitat into isolated fragments. Climate change disrupts Siberia's natural rhythm, making food unpredictable and altering traditional migration routes. Many herds are now forced to move closer to human settlements, increasing conflict between people and bison. And yet, despite all these changes, the Siberian bison continues to walk with the same quiet pride it carried through the Ice Age. A herd of bison crossing a white horizon reminds us that some creatures survive not through speed or ferocity, but through sheer, unshakable endurance. They are the thundering heartbeat of the Siberian plains, the living echo of a prehistoric world still standing in the present. Moose, wolves, Siberian tigers, brown bears, and now the mighty bison. Together, they form the majestic tapestry of this wild land. And the fate of each species depends on what we choose to do today, as the boundary between nature and humanity grows thinner than ever. For if the bison were to disappear from the Siberian steppe, a piece of the land's very soul would vanish with them. Beneath the thick ice of Lake Baikal, a colossal natural mirror carved into the heart of Siberia, the world becomes so silent you can hear the ice cracking from deep within the water. Hidden under that frozen surface, where sunlight is squeezed into faint, ghostly blue rays, a round, shadow-like creature glides softly through the cold. It is the Baikal seal, the only freshwater seal on Earth, a remarkable evolutionary miracle living inside one of the oldest, most ancient environments on the planet. In these deep waters, where temperatures rarely rise above freezing, the Baikal seal has survived for millions of years, enduring shifting climates, advancing glaciers, and countless natural changes. They do not leave the lake, do not migrate to the sea, and never expand their range. Instead, they remain bound to Baikal, as though the lake itself were their destiny, written by nature since the dawn of time. Their bodies carry the marks of perfect adaptation. Smaller than northern sea seals, yet far more agile, Baikal seals are built to thrive in icy freshwater. A thick layer of blubber keeps their bodies warm in near-freezing water, while their short, smooth fur reduces friction and prevents heat loss when they surface on the ice. Their eyes, large, round, and jet black, are masterfully designed for the dim, blue-lit world of Baikal's depths, where sunlight fades into darkness more than 1,000 meters below. Baikal seals can dive to 300 meters, though the lake itself plunges to over 1,600 meters, a mysterious abyss where only the most ancient and unusual creatures dwell. The depths they frequent are a tranquil realm, where light dissolves into soft blue shadows and silence becomes absolute. Here, they hunt schools of goby fish, small, endemic species essential to Baikal's food chain. In winter, Lake Baikal freezes completely. The ice can reach 1-2 meters thick, so clear that you can peer through it into the dark sapphire below. During this time, seals must maintain breathing holes polynyas by surfacing regularly and clawing at the ice. If they fail to maintain these openings, they risk being trapped beneath the frozen ceiling, unable to breathe. This ritual, passed down through thousands of generations, is one of the defining behaviors of their survival. When breeding season arrives in late winter, females seek out the thickest, most stable ice far from shore and far from land predators. They dig small snow caves, warm and sheltered, forming natural birthing chambers. A newborn pup arrives, wrapped in soft, snow-white fur, allowing it to blend perfectly into the icy landscape. In its first days, it depends entirely on its mother for warmth, for fatty milk, and for protection from predators like golden eagles and Arctic foxes. But the safety of the ice den is fleeting. Within weeks, the pup sheds its white coat and grows a gray one, a sign that it must begin adapting to the harsher world outside. Its mother teaches it to swim, dive, maintain breathing holes, and hide from predators, lessons that determine whether it will survive under Baikal's thick winter ice. On land, Baikal seals appear slow and awkward, but once they slip beneath the water, they transform into graceful dancers, using all 4 flippers to steer, spiral, and shoot through the depths like silver arrows. Every movement blends with the rhythm of Baikal fluid, precise and beautifully smooth. Yet, like all creatures of Siberia, Baikal seals now face the growing shadow of climate change. Ice melts earlier, threatening their ability to build birthing dens. Thinner ice means pups are more easily discovered by predators. Pollution and industrial activity around the lake alter the water's clarity and threaten the goby fish population, the foundation of Baikal's ecosystem. Studies warn that if warming continues, the Baikal seal population could decline dramatically in the coming decades. The icy birthing chambers that once ensured survival may vanish entirely by late winter, forcing seals to give birth on fragile ice that can break a near-certain catastrophe. And yet, amidst all the danger, Baikal still produces moments of wonder. On the coldest days of winter, when the ice shines like crystal and the landscape looks like another world, a seal surfaces through a tiny hole, its huge dark eyes studying the frozen expanse with gentle curiosity. No creature feels as mysterious, serene, and ancient as the Baikal seal. They seem like the very spirit of the lake-living relics of the Ice Age, reminding us that life can flourish even in places ruled by silence and ice. The Baikal seal does not roar like the Siberian tiger, does not thunder across the steppe like the bison, does not battle fiercely like the wolf or the bear, yet it survives quietly, gracefully, steadfastly. And in that quiet endurance lies its wonder. One of the most extraordinary animals in Siberia, a symbol of life's miraculous persistence in a world of eternal ice. Across the vast snowy plains of Siberia, where the wind scrapes the earth and the winter sun glows like a distant ember, a small but proud figure moves quietly through the frozen wilderness. It is the Siberian fox, also known as the red fox, a creature small in size yet armed with some of the most sophisticated survival abilities in the Arctic world. While many large animals rely on strength or numbers, the fox depends on something else: intelligence, agility, and an almost supernatural power of adaptation. In winter, when everything around them is buried beneath deep snow, the Siberian fox blends into the scenery with its reddish coat streaked with white along the belly. But its beauty is more than surface deep. That fur is a shield, layered thickly to trap heat even when the temperature plunges to 40 degrees Celsius. Its long, fluffy tail helps keep balance while running on ice. And at night, the fox curls it over its face like a warm scarf against the wind. The Siberian fox is a master hunter of the snowy silence. It uses its large, upright ears to detect the faintest movements beneath the snow, where voles, hares, and other small creatures hide from predators. In moments so quiet you can hear wind brushing through branches, the fox freezes, head tilted slightly, ears rotating with delicate precision. Then, like an arrow loosed from a bow, it leaps upward and dives headfirst into the snow. A perfect strike, crafted by thousands of years of evolution. Within seconds, it reappears with its prey, a flawless demonstration of instinct and skill. The brutal Siberian winter forces foxes to become creatures of versatility. They don't just hunt, they scavenge, forage, and exploit every resource available: frozen carcasses, leftover berries, even scraps left unintentionally by humans. This flexible diet allows them to survive in territories where larger predators struggle to adapt. When spring arrives and the snow recedes, revealing the muted browns and grays of the Siberian steppe, foxes enter their breeding season. The female finds a deep underground den to shelter her young. The kits are born tiny, eyes closed, wrapped in pale gray fur. For weeks, the mother rarely leaves the den, keeping her pups warm and safe from predators. The male brings food back, patiently tending to his family with an instinctive devotion. When the pups finally open their eyes, the world is nothing but weak light and whispering wind. They stumble outside the den, playing clumsily between patches of melting snow and damp earth. They learn to stalk, leap, listen, their bright eyes, twitching noses, and endless curiosity already reflecting the clever spirit of their kind. During Siberia's brief summer, when plants turn green and birds return to nest, foxes take advantage of the abundance, stocking up on nutrition for the next winter. But summer also brings danger. Golden eagles, lynx, and even wolves all hunt young foxes. In this harsh world, foxes rarely choose direct confrontation. They run, hide, and rely on intelligence, a low-cost, high-success strategy in the wild. Today, the Siberian fox remains one of the region's most widespread animals. Their agility and adaptability make them among the best survivors as climate change reshapes Siberia's ecosystems. As ice melts, forests burn, and food sources shift, foxes continue to find new ways to endure. They slip into villages, explore abandoned areas, and forage in places their ancestors never imagined. In a world where giants like bison, tigers, and bears struggle to adapt, the fox thrives through cunning and flexibility. It is not the strongest nor the fastest, but it is always the one that chooses the right moment, the right place, and the right way to survive. And that is the true beauty of the Siberian fox. A small creature, yet a symbol of ingenuity, intelligence, and extraordinary resilience in one of the harshest landscapes on Earth. Along the sheer cliffs of the majestic Sayan and Altai Mountains, where Siberia rises into colossal walls of stone to shield itself from the northern winds, a quiet yet steadfast creature clings to life in this unforgiving world. Not as massive as the bison, not as swift as the fox, nor as powerful as the snow leopard, the Siberian goral nonetheless possesses a survival ability so extraordinary that even the mightiest animals of this land must respect it. In a world where earth and sky blurred together beneath snow and ice, the goral lives where almost no other creature dares to set foot. Vertical cliffs, slopes nearly straight down, razor-thin ledges only a few centimeters wide, where a single slip could send it plunging hundreds of meters. And yet this is precisely the place it calls home. The Siberian goral is small, standing less than 1 meter tall, but every part of its body is engineered for survival in these brutal mountains. Short but incredibly strong legs, heavily developed shoulder muscles for explosive jumps, and hooves that are both sharp and flexible, able to grip tiny cracks in the rock like fingertips. When a goral climbs, it doesn't simply walk, it floats, shifting weight from one hoof to the next with such grace it seems to dance in midair. In winter, when the mountains freeze solid and icy winds slash across the peaks, the goral continues climbing, seeking the last remaining tufts of dry grass wedged between the rocks. Its thick, two-layered ash-gray coat blends seamlessly with the cliffs while insulating its body from temperatures far below freezing. It does not hibernate, and it does not migrate. Instead, it faces the Siberian winter head-on, with a stubborn determination that borders on heroic. Thanks to its unmatched climbing skills, the goral can live at heights of up to 2,500 meters, where large predators like wolves and bears struggle to follow. But danger still lurks. The snow leopard, the ghost of the mountains, is the goral's greatest enemy. Silent, agile, and relentless, the snow leopard can pursue the goral into treacherous terrain that would terrify most creatures. These chases become some of the most breathtaking duels in nature. The goral leaps from rock to rock, sometimes across gaps longer than its own body length. One wrong step means death, but hesitation is even deadlier when the snow leopard's jaws are only meters behind. Time and again, it is the goral's speed, balance, and sheer boldness that allow it to escape death by a razor-thin margin. When spring arrives and melting ice turns into streams cascading down the mountainsides, goral mothers give birth. The young are born on small, rocky ledges, suspended high above the ground. From their very first hours, the newborns must learn to stand, balance, and follow their mothers, for in this place, even a moment's delay can be fatal. Thanks to strong instincts and agile legs, they quickly join the dangerous rhythm of life on the cliffs. Summer brings a wider variety of food. Tender leaves, new shoots, and alpine herbs growing along the rocky slopes. The goral eats sparsely, but consistently, storing energy for the grueling winter ahead. This humble, resilient lifestyle is what makes it one of the most adaptable creatures in Siberia's high mountains. Yet, like many animals of this icy kingdom, the goral faces growing threats from humans. Mining operations, road construction, deforestation, and climate change are shrinking and fragmenting its habitat. Ancient cliff territories, once safe from disturbance, are now cut by new pathways or pushed upward as human presence expands. The goral is forced into higher, steeper, more dangerous terrain where survival becomes even more precarious. And still, it endures. Still, it stands proudly on the high cliffs, stepping gracefully along ledges that make even seasoned mountaineers dizzy. It embodies resilience and finesse, two qualities that have carried it through thousands of years of shifting climate, predators, and human encroachment. In the frozen kingdom of Siberia, where the mighty bison reign with brute strength, the bears with power, the tigers with majesty, and the foxes with cunning, the goral shines in its own quiet way. Not loud, not dramatic, but unbreakable. It is not a ruler, but it is a survivor, and in its silence lies its greatest strength. Such is the Siberian goral, a small creature with a heart as unyielding as the mountains it calls home. Asterisk. Beneath the towering canopy of the endless taiga, where the winter sun is only strong enough to cast thin rays through layers of snow, the Siberian squirrel continues its ceaseless, restless life. Asterisk. Small, swift, and seemingly fragile in a land forever weighed down by ice and wind, yet it is the squirrel that stands among the most resilient, intelligent, and ecologically vital creatures of this entire frozen kingdom. A truth many would never expect. To survive winters that can last half a year, with temperatures often sinking below 40 degrees Celsius, the Siberian squirrel does not rely on strength or ferocity. Instead, it depends on asterisk memory, dexterity, and speed. Asterisk abilities sharpened over countless generations. As autumn arrives and the taiga shifts from deep green to amber and brown, the squirrel begins its frantic work. It races from trunk to treetop, darting across slender pine branches and thick cedar boughs, gathering cones, hazelnuts, acorns, and even dried mushrooms. In a single day, one squirrel may stash hundreds of food items across a wide territory. And here lies its brilliance. It stores food asterisk everywhere, asterisk, not just in one place. If one cache is buried by snow or discovered by another animal, dozens of others remain safe. This scatter hoarding strategy is the key to its survival in the most merciless winters. But it also makes the squirrel one of the taiga's greatest asterisk forest engineers. Asterisk, for many of the seeds it stores and forgets eventually sprout into young trees, helping regenerate the forest. Without squirrels, the taiga's renewal would slow dramatically. When winter storms sweep across the forest and temperatures drop so low that boiling water can freeze in minutes, the Siberian squirrel retreats to its nest, a marvel of natural architecture made from soft moss, dry leaves, tiny twigs, and lined with bird or animal fur. These nests sit high in tree hollows or tucked deep in pine branches, shielded from the wind. Inside, the squirrel curls into a tight ball, its thick tail wrapped over its face like a blanket, warm breath forming tiny clouds in the dark. It does not fully hibernate, but enters a conservation state, waking only to feed or check its food stores. On the coldest days, when the forest becomes so silent you can hear snowflakes land on branches, the squirrel may burst from its nest like a streak of shadow sprinting across treetops faster than the eye can follow. Its agility is its only defense against predators. The golden eagle with its piercing vision, the Siberian lynx with its silent steps, the sable with its equal climbing ability. In a world where any small creature can become someone's next meal, the squirrel survives with cunning and finely tuned instincts. Like all Siberian animals, squirrels have a breeding season that mirrors the taiga's renewal. As the snow begins to melt and patches of moss turn green, the female builds or refurbishes her birthing nest. The babies are born tiny, blind, hairless, and helpless. But after 2 weeks, fur emerges. After 3, their eyes open. And by 5 weeks of age, they are already hopping near the nest entrance, curiously taking in the vast world beyond. The appearance of squirrel kits is a gentle announcement of spring new life in a land defined by cold. They learn to climb, to leap from branch to branch, to sense danger, and, most importantly, asterisk, to gather and store food. Asterisk, the very skill that has allowed Siberian squirrels to survive through millennia. In Siberia's short summer, when sunlight lasts long and the forest comes alive, squirrels expand their foraging routes. They feast on mushrooms, leaf buds, berries, and newly ripened seeds. Their movements are so fast, twisting midair, dashing along branches, that they often blur into nothing more than a flicker of color. But summer is also the season when predators are most active. Golden eagles swoop in seconds. Lynxes stalk from the shadows. Grassland snakes lie in wait for wandering young. Even so, Siberian squirrel populations remain far more stable than many other species. Not because they are strong, but because they are adaptable, strategic, and cautious. They slip into corners of the forest larger animals cannot reach, use every scrap of available food, and turn one of the harshest habitats on Earth into a place where they can thrive. Today, the Siberian squirrel remains an iconic creature of the taiga, but climate change and deforestation are shrinking its world. Ancient forests, rich with hollows, and bursting with mushrooms and wild berries, are disappearing. Reduced biodiversity threatens their food sources. And yet, thanks to their natural resilience, squirrels still leap across snow-covered branches, still stash seeds that will grow into future forests. In the long story of Siberia's wilderness, where bison, tigers, bears, wolves, lynx, moose, and Baikal seals display raw power, the squirrel represents another kind of strength. Asterisk, the strength of persistence, intelligence, and quiet contribution. Asterisk, a tiny creature, but a crucial heartbeat in the endless forests of the taiga. Under the deep purple shadows of the Siberian taiga at dusk, narrow streams begin to freeze along their edges, sending glass-like cracks toward the center of the water, like fractures spreading across a giant mirror. And right at this border between liquid and ice, a place where few creatures can withstand the biting cold, the Siberian beaver continues its tireless work, building, reshaping, and quietly rejuvenating an entire ecosystem. Few people realize that in the vast wilderness of Siberia, where giants like the Siberian tiger, moose, bison, and brown bear rule the forests and plains, it is the beaver, far smaller and quieter, that acts as one of nature's greatest architects. Without noise, without spectacle, every dam they build alters water flow, creates new wetlands, nourishes hundreds of species, and sustains life in some of the harshest forests on Earth. The Siberian beaver has powerful front teeth that never stop growing strong enough to cut through tree trunks nearly the thickness of a human arm. This ability allows them not only to gather material, but to reshape entire riverbanks, turning dry, barren zones into fertile wetlands, a feat humans often need years to accomplish. Once a tree falls, the beaver cuts it into manageable pieces and ferries them through the water, either gripping them with its teeth or pushing them with its paws. Each piece is brought to the construction site, where the whole beaver family works together, layering mud, branches, stones, and leaves into a sturdy wall. A beaver dam can reach 2 meters tall and 100 meters long, astonishing for an animal less than a meter in length. Beavers work both day and night. Sub-zero temperatures do not stop them. Their thick waterproof fur and insulating fat allow them to dive repeatedly into icy water without weakening. This relentless effort results in structures strong enough to withstand winter after winter of Siberia's extreme weather. Yet the dam is only half the story. Behind it lies the beaver lodge, their fortress. From the outside, it looks like a massive pile of branches, but inside, entered only through underwater tunnels, it is dry, warm, and secure. Here, the beavers raise their young, store food, and rest after long nights of labor. Winter arrives early and brutally in Siberia. Ice can seal lakes and rivers under more than a meter of solid frost, entirely blocking access to the surface. But the beavers are prepared. In autumn, as the leaves turn golden, they gather fresh branches, sink them beneath the water near the lodge, and anchor them with mud and stones. These submerged branches become their winter food cache. When everything above is frozen and inaccessible, the beavers slip beneath the ice and pull out branches as needed, surviving months without ever leaving their lodge. One of the beaver's most remarkable traits is its family structure. A beaver family typically includes 2 parents and 2 generations of offspring, yearlings nearly grown and newborn kits. The older siblings help build dams, maintain the lodge, and care for the younger kits, a rare level of cooperation in rodents. This teamwork is essential for surviving Siberia's unforgiving winters. When spring comes and melting ice floods the rivers, many dams become damaged, and this is when the beaver family gets to work again. They rebuild constantly. Every year, every season, every change in the water's flow demands repairs or improvements. Over decades, these efforts create thriving wetlands that attract fish, water birds, amphibians, insects, and countless plant species. But human activity threatens this delicate system. Streams are diverted, riparian forests are cut down, and pollution reduces the beaver's food supply. In some regions, these changes have destabilized beaver populations. Yet in protected areas, beavers are returning in impressive numbers, proving that when nature is given space, it heals itself. In the grand tapestry of the taiga, where every species plays a role in the fragile balance between life and death, the beaver represents creativity, resilience, and nature's power to rebuild. Without claws or fangs, armed only with their teeth and unyielding determination, beavers reshape waterways and create homes for hundreds of other species. Watching a stream wind its way through a beaver dam, we're reminded that some of the smallest creatures are the ones sustaining entire landscapes. Just like Siberia itself, harsh yet enduring, cold yet quietly generous, the beaver is a testament to the quiet strength that keeps the wild alive. Across the endless skies of Siberia, where ice-crowned mountains slice the horizon and white plains stretch into infinity, the golden eagle soars like an ancient spirit of wind and frost. In a world where winter can swallow half the year and 40 degrees Celsius cold can freeze motion itself, the golden eagle is the one creature that never yields. It does not merely survive, it reigns. Its wings, when fully spread, look like twin blades forged from winter sunlight. Every feather serves a purpose. Small head feathers reduce drag. Long primary feathers provide lift. Tail feathers steer with surgical precision, and a dense layer of down seals in warmth, allowing the eagle to ride the frozen air for hours without the cold piercing its body. Its eyes, sharp and deep as frozen amber, scan the silent, white world below, detecting the slightest movement. In Siberia, the golden eagle has few rivals. In the sky, it is the undisputed monarch. Yet its dominance comes not from brute force alone, but from strategy refined through thousands of generations. When hunting, the eagle does not rush. It circles, observes, calculates the direction of the wind, the contours of the land, the depth and texture of the snow. Because thick snow can cushion a strike, while thin snow can cause prey to slip. Only when every variable aligns does the eagle begin its attack. In that moment, nature seems to hold its breath. Wind screams past its wings as the bird becomes an arrow plunging through the frozen sky. No other raptor in Siberia can match its speed. Just before hitting the ground, it flares its wings, uses air resistance to brake, then unleashes a lethal strike of its talons. A hare, a young fox, a marmot, even a small mountain goat all can become prey. The golden eagle can take down animals twice its own weight, a feat matched by few birds of prey anywhere on Earth. In the treacherous Altai Mountains, locals have witnessed rare scenes: a golden eagle ambushing a wolf pup. From a height, with surprise and power, it can topple the young wolf onto the icy slope, injuring or immobilizing it within seconds. Because of this might, the golden eagle has become a sacred symbol for nomadic cultures of Siberia and Central Asia, a skyborne messenger, a spirit of power and freedom. Yet the eagle's strength is not its only miracle. It has an almost supernatural ability to withstand cold. Blizzards that drive bears into dens and force snow leopards to seek shelter cannot move the eagle. It stands firm on a cliff, wings folded, letting snow pile over its back like a white cloak. Its unique plumage blocks the cold completely, keeping its body warm and ready. Golden eagles are not just hunters, they are lifelong companions of the sky. They mate for many years, often for life. Together, they build enormous nests out of branches, structures as large as a dining table, perched on cliff faces or ancient treetops. These nests are used for years, even decades, reinforced each season until some grow to more than 300 kilograms in weight, astonishing for a bird species. Each year, a golden eagle lays only 1 or 2 eggs, a powerful lesson in the strategy of quality over quantity. The chicks require long, careful rearing, learning to fly, to hunt, and to endure Siberia's brutal conditions. Not all survive. Only the strongest, quickest, and most intelligent young eagles make it to adulthood, continuing a lineage built on resilience. Even the king of the Siberian sky faces modern threats. Climate change is drying grasslands, altering prey cycles, and shrinking taiga forests that once offered safe nesting sites. Power lines, mining sites, and deep industrial encroachment disturb hunting routes and increase danger. Yet still the golden eagle flies, as it has for millions of years. Its wings cut not just through wind, but through time, a reminder that some creatures are born to belong to the sky, beyond the reach of any boundary. And when its shadow glides over Siberia's flawless snow, we realize this is more than just a bird. It is the spirit of the frozen land, a symbol of freedom, power, and the wild, ancient nature fighting to survive in a world that changes every day. Across this vast land, larger than all of Europe, every creature, from reindeer to wolf, from bear to tiger, follows a unique strategy for survival shaped by millions of years of evolution. Some choose speed, some choose intelligence, some choose power, and some choose stillness. Together, they uphold the fragile balance between life and death in this white, unrelenting world. But now, a new enemy rises. Not blizzards, not predators, humans. Temperatures in Siberia are rising 3 times faster than the global average. Melting ice disrupts the migration of reindeer, destroys the food chains of wolves and tigers, and forces brown bears to awaken early, weaker, hungrier, and less able to reproduce. The permafrost, foundation of this land, is melting away, warping the earth, collapsing ground, reshaping landscapes, taking with it bird nests, animal dens, and fragile lives that once thrived here. Worse still, wildfires spread through the warming taiga, consuming thousands of hectares of forest, the home of the tiger, the wolf, and countless others. Experts warn that if this trend continues, 30% of the Siberian tiger population could vanish within the next few decades. And as humans expand oil drilling, mining, and roads into the Arctic, each forest, each glacier, each refuge fades away. The creatures that once ruled this frozen kingdom are now being cornered in the very world they built. Perhaps Siberia's eternal winter is finally melting, not just its ice, but the miracles once locked within it. The legendary beasts that once embodied nature's strength now struggle for their very last breath. When the blizzards quiet and the winds fade, only silence remains, whispering through bare trees, tracing the fading footprints of those that once ruled here. Siberia, a land of legends, survival, and memory. A place where nature still writes its story, whether humanity chooses to listen or not. Siberia, a land colder than imagination, larger than all of Europe where time seems frozen between snow and wind. Here, life endures not by chance, but by willpower.
Delivering life to every corner of the forest. It is the largest river in the world by water volume, a natural wonder unparalleled in its magnificence. The Amazon is more than just rivers and dense jungles. Its tropical climate with abundant rainfall of up to 2 meters annually and steady temperatures ranging from 25 to 30 degrees Celsius creates a vibrant tapestry where the forest remains lush and green, nurturing and sheltering thousands of rare plant and animal species. God did not simply create the Amazon as a forest. He composed a living symphony where every creature dances in a wondrous rhythm of life, all in harmony with the cadence of nature. The Amazon is more than a region. It is home to 390 billion trees, each one a heartbeat of the planet. These trees, belonging to 16,000 different species, collectively form the lungs of the Earth, absorbing billions of tons of carbon dioxide and releasing pure oxygen, the very essence of life for us all. But the Amazon's wonders don't stop there. It is home to 10% of all known species on Earth, from over 3 million species of invertebrates, 2,200 species of fish, 427 species of mammals, 1,300 species of birds, to 400 species of amphibians. Each creature plays its part in the eternal symphony of life. After each tropical rain, the Amazon awakens in a mystical veil of mist. The forest floor quickly bursts with new life, reminding us of the endless cycle of existence. In His infinite wisdom, God designed a flawless ecosystem where trees not only rise from the earth but also filter the air, generate water, and maintain balance for the entire planet. Imagine these colossal biological machines, billions of trees in the Amazon silently absorbing carbon from the sky and releasing pure oxygen each day. They are not merely trees, they are guardians of life, silent warriors against the passage of time. As the first light of dawn pierces through the dense canopy, it paints a shimmering masterpiece, awakening a vibrant world. The lowland tropical forests of the Amazon resemble a mythical green labyrinth, where towering giants over 60 meters tall stand majestically, sheltering thousands of smaller plants thriving in their shade. The Amazon is more than a forest. It is the pulsing heart of the planet, where life flourishes in perfect harmony. Every drop of water, every branch, every breath is a miracle of creation. In the beginning, when the Amazon was a mysterious land cloaked in the breath of creation, God brought forth the Waorani people, the first children of the forest. They were born not only from the earth and waters of the Amazon, but also from His will and profound love for this magnificent jungle. The Waorani were not conquerors, they were protectors entrusted with a sacred mission by God. They did not live apart from the forest, they were one with it. Every falling leaf, every flowing stream, every breath of the jungle carried a piece of their soul. God endowed the Waorani with extraordinary intelligence and unmatched adaptability to nature. They learned to move silently among the trees like shadows, hunt with blow darts laced with curare poison, and heal wounds using the roots of the forest. These skills were not merely for survival, but for maintaining the perfect balance of the jungle, which they revered as their sacred home. But the Waorani thrived not only through their skills. God gave them hearts full of love and unity. They lived in tightly knit communities, sharing food, nurturing their children, and protecting one another from harm. Their language was rich and expressive, blending seamlessly with the calls of the birds, as if they were the very voice of the forest itself. The Waorani believe the Amazon is not just a dwelling, but a great mother, nurturing and sheltering them for centuries. When a Waorani passes on, their soul does not disappear. It becomes part of the forest, turning into streams, trees, or the song of a bird at dawn. The Waorani are not just a part of the Amazon, they are the heartbeat of the forest, the guardians of the ancient secrets God wove into every inch of its soil, every drop of its water, and every rhythm of its life. Deep within the Amazon rainforest, where sunlight barely filters through the dense canopy, a majestic and mysterious creature moves silently. This is the jaguar, the uncrowned ruler of the greatest tropical forest on Earth. The jaguar, Panthera onca, is the largest cat in the Americas and the most powerful predator in the Amazon. With unmatched strength and perfect adaptation, the jaguar has become a symbol of power since the dawn of this ancient forest. Its golden coat, adorned with distinctive black rosettes, is not only breathtakingly beautiful but also serves as the perfect camouflage. In the shadows of the rainforest, the jaguar waits in silence, poised for an explosive moment where every leap is an act of precise calculation and every bite is nature's declaration of power. Measuring up to 2.4 meters in length and weighing as much as 100 kilograms, the jaguar is not only massive but also incredibly strong. Its jaws deliver a bite force of up to 10,000 psi, far exceeding that of lions and tigers, making it the apex predator with the most powerful bite in the feline world. Unlike the neck-biting attacks of lions or tigers, the jaguar delivers a razor-sharp and precise strike to the skull, instantly incapacitating its prey. This is not just raw power, it is the art of predation, honed over thousands of years of evolution. The jaguar is not merely a predator, it is a vibrant symbol of balance, maintaining stability in the Amazon ecosystem by controlling other species' populations. In its silent majesty, the jaguar not only reigns over the green expanse but also serves as a quiet guardian of nature. Imagine this forest without the jaguar. Their absence would not only mark the loss of a species but also the disappearance of a vital piece in the magnificent puzzle that is the Amazon. In the dark waters of the Amazon, where sunlight barely penetrates and shadows dominate all, a creature of immense power lies hidden. The ultimate predator of the river, a manifestation of strength and enigma, moves like a phantom, silent, invisible, leaving only fear in its wake. Measuring up to 6 meters in length and weighing over 400 kilograms. But this creature is more than a predator. It is a symbol of authority. Its sleek black skin not only offers protection but also serves as perfect camouflage, blending seamlessly into the dark waters, rendering it invisible to its prey. Only its piercing eyes and nostrils just above the water's surface hint at its presence, a silent yet menacing reminder that the river is never truly at peace. In his infinite wisdom, God endowed this creature with incredible abilities. Its massive jaws deliver an astonishing bite force of 3,700 pounds per square inch. Capable of crushing bones and overpowering any prey, from large fish and mammals to the most daring challengers. But it is not just brute force. It also possesses the intelligence of a masterful hunter. This creature is a patient strategist. It remains motionless in the water, exposing only a fraction of its body as it waits for its prey to approach. Then, with a sudden burst of energy and a deadly snap, the tranquil surface is shattered by the storm of life and death. But this predator is more than a hunter. It is a guardian of the Amazon's ecological balance. By controlling populations of fish and small animals, it ensures that no species overpopulates, safeguarding the region's rich biodiversity. Its role is akin to a compass, guiding the life cycles of the river in seamless harmony. This creature does not merely exist, it thrives as a symbol of resilience and power. During the dry season, it retreats to deeper waters. When the rains return, it moves into flooded areas as if orchestrating the rhythm of the river's life. In the legends of the Amazon's indigenous people, this creature is not merely an animal. It eats tea, a messenger of the river, a symbol of strength and balance. Revered as the living soul of the Amazon, it reminds them of nature's boundless power and the importance of living in harmony with the world. The presence of this creature signifies a healthy ecosystem. Its survival is a reminder that everything in nature is interconnected. When it declines, it signals that the Amazon itself is under threat from human activity. Gaze into the eyes of this creature and you will see the essence of the Amazon River, powerful, enigmatic, and ever-flowing. It is not just a predator, it is the guardian of the river, an eternal symbol of the harmony and strength that God has imprinted upon nature. High in the canopy of the Amazon rainforest, where sunlight filters softly through dense leaves, a swift and graceful creature dances through the air. This is the spider monkey, the master of movement in the jungle, a primate often likened to the dancers of nature. Spider monkeys, or ateles, belong to the Atelidae family and are one of the most vibrant symbols of the Amazon's lowland tropical rainforest ecosystem. Among them, the black-handed spider monkey, Ateles belzebuth, stands out as a symbol of intelligence and perfect adaptation. Emerging around 4 million years ago during the Pleistocene epoch, spider monkeys are part of the New World primates, a lineage of smart survivors that split from their Old World counterparts tens of millions of years ago. Over millions of years of evolution, they have developed slender yet incredibly agile bodies, with a torso length reaching up to 50 centimeters, and when combined with their powerful tails, a total length exceeding 1 meter. The spider monkey's long tail is more than just a body part. It is a fifth limb, a unique tool bestowed by nature. With this remarkable tail, they can grip branches, move effortlessly from tree to tree, like acrobats performing in the heart of the jungle. This extraordinary mobility helps spider monkeys maintain balance as they forage for food and stay clear of predators lurking beneath the dense forest canopy. But spider monkeys are remarkable not just for their agility. They possess exceptional intelligence, demonstrated through problem-solving abilities, the use of simple tools and strategic thinking to overcome the challenges of the Amazon. Studies have shown that spider monkeys can remember the location of food in a three-dimensional space and even learn from their peers, a crucial skill for surviving in such a demanding environment. Spider monkeys inhabit the highest layers of the forest, where they not only forage but also build intricate social relationships. They are never alone, living in large groups of 20 to 30 individuals, sharing food, caring for one another, and alerting each other to potential dangers. When faced with a threat, spider monkeys emit piercing calls that echo through the jungle, a symphony of warnings that helps keep their group safe from predators. Their diet consists primarily of fruits, leaves, and seeds, but their meals serve a greater purpose than mere survival. By consuming and dispersing seeds through their droppings, spider monkeys inadvertently act as gardeners of the rainforest, sustaining and regenerating life within the Amazon ecosystem. Spider monkeys are not just residents of the forest, they are silent guardians, an essential link in the cycle of life within the Amazon. Every leap, every action they take contributes to the perfect balance that God has ordained for this magnificent jungle. Amid the towering canopies of the Amazon rainforest, where sunlight filters sparingly through dense leaves like golden beams, a wondrous creature appears. The blue and yellow macaw, as vibrant as a living gem, seems like a gift from God to this majestic forest. Known scientifically as Ara ararauna, the blue and yellow macaw is more than just a bird. It is a symbol of vibrant life and ceaseless motion. Its dazzling blue feathers on its back and radiant yellow chest and belly, combined with its keen eyes, make it a striking presence in the heart of the Amazon. When its wings, spanning up to 1 meter, spread wide, the sky is painted with nature's most exquisite artistry. But the blue and yellow macaw thrives on more than beauty. These tireless travelers soar dozens of kilometers daily in search of food and shelter. Their strong, sharp beaks are incredible tools, capable of cracking even the hardest nutshells, a feat few animals can match. This ensures their survival even in times of scarcity, showcasing their remarkable resilience. What truly sets the macaw apart, however, is its extraordinary social life. These birds are never solitary. They fly in pairs or live in large flocks, constantly communicating with one another through resounding calls, a harmonious symphony of the jungle. Macaw pairs often bond for life, exemplifying a love and loyalty that is both simple and profound, a lesson from nature to humankind. At dawn, as mist still cloaks the forest, the blue and yellow macaw begins its daily journey. Soaring high above the Amazon, they search for fruits and seeds, their vital sustenance. Yet their journey is about more than nourishment. As macaws consume fruit and disperse seeds through their droppings, they become inadvertent gardeners of the rainforest. These seeds take root, regenerating life in the jungle and contributing to nature's endless cycle. For centuries, the indigenous people of the Amazon have regarded the blue and yellow macaw as sacred. Their radiant feathers are used in religious ceremonies, symbolizing harmony and gratitude toward nature. The macaw's resonant calls are more than mere communication. They echo like prayers to God, celebrating the wonder of the forest. The blue and yellow macaw lives primarily in the upper canopy of the rainforest, where sunlight kisses every leaf, nurturing a sanctuary for thousands of bird and animal species. This layer, rising 20 to 40 meters above the ground, is a world of its own, a verdant paradise where magnificent creatures like the macaw compose an unending symphony of life. The blue and yellow macaw is not just a dazzling inhabitant of the Amazon, it is a living embodiment of life, connection, and the love God has bestowed upon this extraordinary forest. High in the towering canopies of the Amazon rainforest, where sunlight barely filters through the dense foliage, a remarkable creature appears, the toucan. With its vibrant plumage and unique beak, it seems as though God has imbued this bird with a touch of his own magic. The toucan, scientifically known as Ramphastos toko, is more than just a bird. It is a symbol of nature's incredible creativity. Measuring up to 60 centimeters in length, with a nearly 20 centimeters long beak, and a striking combination of glossy black feathers accented by white and orange hues, the toucan is a jewel in the paradise of the Amazon. But its beauty is not merely for show, it is a perfect fusion of form and function. The toucan's iconic beak is more than a tool for foraging. It serves as a key to access fruits in hard-to-reach places where other birds cannot go. In his infinite wisdom, God also granted this beak the ability to act as a defense against predators and even help regulate the bird's body temperature, ensuring its survival in the challenging tropical environment. But the toucan does not live for itself alone. It is one of the gardeners of the Amazon. As it consumes fruit, it swallows the seeds whole and disperses them throughout the forest via its droppings. Studies have shown that toucans can spread seeds over distances of 10 to 20 kilometers, contributing to the regeneration and growth of the Amazon's lush vegetation. Through this seemingly simple act, the toucan becomes an indispensable link in the rainforest's life cycle. Life in the upper canopy of the Amazon is not easy. The toucan, with its short but powerful wings, must navigate swiftly between branches, hopping from one to another to find food, while evading predators such as snakes and eagles. The toucan uses its beak as a defensive weapon or quickly hides within the dense foliage. What makes the toucan truly special is not just its intelligence or survival skills, but its strong social connections. They live in small groups, typically ranging from 6 to 12 individuals, where each member looks out for the others. In times of scarcity, they share what they have, a beautiful display of compassion and unity, as if God intended them to teach humanity a lesson in kindness and generosity. For the indigenous people of the Amazon, the toucan is a symbol of prosperity and vitality. Its radiant feathers feature prominently in traditional ceremonies, representing harmony with nature. The toucan is not merely a resident of the Amazon, it is its living spirit, a testament to the balance and beauty that God has bestowed upon this magnificent rainforest. In the dawn of time, when God laid the foundations of the Amazon rainforest, he created a small yet extraordinary creature, the leafcutter ant. They are not just tireless workers, but silent guardians, carrying out a sacred mission, to nurture life and uphold the cycle of the great forest. From afar, a colony of leafcutter ants appears as a flowing river of green, each tiny ant carrying a piece of leaf on its back. But do not be deceived by their size. These creatures are nature's architects, pioneers of the Amazon ecosystem, where every step they take shapes the life of the jungle. In his infinite wisdom, God granted the leafcutter ant a unique ability. With their sharp mandibles, they cut leaves far larger than themselves, carrying them back to their nests to cultivate a special fungus, their primary food source. This is not just survival, it is advanced agriculture, a marvel that only nature could conceive. The leaves, once processed by the ants, not only feed the fungus but also enrich the soil, returning nutrients to the forest floor. God intricately wove every thread of this life cycle together, and the leafcutter ant serves as the heartbeat of the Amazon ecosystem. Beneath the forest floor, a leafcutter ant nest is a biological wonder, a subterranean city with countless chambers, tunnels, and specialized areas. Millions of ants live and work in perfect harmony. Every worker, soldier, and fungus tender understands its role within the colony. None are left behind, none stand idle. It is a profound lesson in unity and responsibility that God offers to all of us. Imagine a stream of leafcutter ants moving tirelessly through the forest. The green fragments they carry resemble tiny victory flags, symbols of their perseverance and strength. Each ant, though small, carries the spirit of a warrior, working relentlessly to fulfill the mission God entrusted to them. For the indigenous peoples of the Amazon, the leafcutter ant has long been a symbol of diligence and harmony with nature. To them, these small creatures are a divine reminder that every being, no matter how tiny, plays an essential role in the grand design of life. Leafcutter ants do more than cut leaves and build nests. They regenerate the forest, enrich the soil, and maintain the ecological balance upon which the entire Amazon depends. With every step they take, every leaf they carry, they fulfill God's will, keeping this rainforest vibrant and alive. Let us bow before these small yet extraordinary creatures, the leaf-cutting warriors of the Amazon. They are not just ants, they are the keepers of the forest's rhythm, living proof of God's boundless wisdom and wonder. Amid the towering treetops of the Amazon rainforest, where time seems to stand still and sunlight gently filters through lush green leaves, a creature moves with deliberate slowness, as if unbothered by haste. This is the three-toed sloth, a miraculous creation of God, embodying patience and balance in the grand cycle of life. Within this magnificent forest, scientifically known as Bradypus variegatus, the three-toed sloth is one of the Amazon's oldest and most enigmatic residents. Over millions of years, it has evolved to perfectly adapt to the high canopy of the forest, where it finds safety, sustenance, and an ideal space to thrive. Cloaked in greenish-grey fur, often harboring algae, the sloth not only blends seamlessly into its surroundings, but also creates a micro-ecosystem on its own body, home to countless microorganisms and tiny insects. The three-toed sloth lives a life of extraordinary slowness, moving at a speed of just 0.24 kilometers per hour, a survival strategy optimized for conserving energy. While other animals flee predators in haste, the sloth chooses to live quietly, perfectly camouflaged, avoiding attention altogether. This deliberate slowness is not just a means of survival, it symbolizes harmony with nature, utilizing the forest's offerings without competition or destruction. The leaves the sloth eats daily may not be nutrient-rich, but in his infinite wisdom, God gifted the sloth with a unique digestive system. Its multi-chambered stomach allows it to break down large amounts of cellulose from the leaves, a process that can take 5 to 7 days to complete. Through this remarkable evolution, the sloth thrives on a modest diet, maintaining its resilience in the challenging rainforest environment. The sloth descends to the ground only once a week, a perilous journey as on land. It becomes vulnerable to predators like the harpy eagle or jaguar. Yet even in these moments of vulnerability, the sloth moves with a calm grace, as if aware that every step aligns with the divine plan God has laid out for it. Despite its slow demeanor, the three-toed sloth plays a vital role in the Amazon's life cycle. By feeding on leaves, it helps regulate vegetation growth while also serving as a crucial food source for predators, maintaining the delicate balance of the ecosystem. Within its greenish-grey fur, where algae grow and insects dwell, the sloth fosters a miniature habitat symbolizing the interconnectedness God has imbued in all of nature. The sloth does not rush, does not compete. It exists as a gentle reminder that in slowness and stillness, true harmony with nature can be found. The indigenous people of the Amazon have long revered the three-toed sloth as a symbol of balance and wisdom, a creature embodying a slow but steadfast rhythm of life, enduring the trials of time. Amid the endless currents of the Amazon River, where the sunlight dances on the water's surface like shimmering mirrors, a magnificent creature emerges. The giant otter, the uncrowned king of freshwater realms, stands as a divine reminder from God that strength lies not only in size or speed, but also in unity and a sacred bond with family and nature. Scientifically known as Pteronura brasiliensis, the giant otter is the largest otter species in the world, reaching up to 2 meters in length and exuding undeniable majesty. Its sleek brown fur glistens under the sunlight, and its intelligent, gleaming eyes seem to have been crafted by God to make it a formidable guardian of the Amazon's waterways. In his infinite wisdom, God gifted the giant otter with perfectly webbed feet and a powerful tail. These creatures do not merely swim, they glide through the water like dancers, with each tail thrust a masterpiece of precision and speed. Beneath the surface, they are relentless predators, their agility and hunting prowess unmatched as they chase down prey with astonishing skill. But the giant otter does not hunt merely for survival. It is a protector of the river, playing a vital role in maintaining ecological balance. By preying on fish and crabs, it regulates the populations of these species, ensuring the river's life cycle remains whole and unbroken. The giant otter embodies unity. It is never alone. Living in family groups of 3 to 10 individuals, these creatures forge deep bonds with one another. Their vocal calls are not just a means of communication, they are symphonies of love and cooperation. When danger looms, they stand together, fiercely protecting their family with unwavering strength and courage, becoming true warriors of the Amazon. But do not be deceived by their grace and solidarity. When challenged, the giant otter transforms into a fearless contender, capable of confronting large predators like caimans or jaguars. Their resilience serves as a testament to a profound truth. True strength comes from familial bonds and the divine mission entrusted by God. To the indigenous people of the Amazon, the giant otter is more than just an animal. It is a symbol of vitality, prosperity, and the sacred connection to nature. In ancient legends, they are revered as guardians of the river, beings imbued with God's breath, ensuring the waters remain pure and teeming with life. The giant otter does not merely exist, it sustains life. With every tail flick, every call, and every hunt, it not only nurtures its family, but also safeguards the vast ecosystem of the Amazon. They are not rulers, they are stewards, messengers of balance and harmony. Deep within the dark waters of the Amazon, where sunlight struggles to reach, a remarkable creature quietly exists, the electric eel, one of the most extraordinary creations God has gifted to this river. With its humble appearance, yet astonishing power, the electric eel stands as a symbol of mystery and might, a living testament to the boundless wisdom of creation. The electric eel, scientifically known as Electrophorus electricus, is a one-of-a-kind marvel. Its long, slender body, which can reach up to 2.5 meters in length and weigh over 20 kilograms, makes it more than just a fish. It is a masterpiece of perfect adaptation. But what truly sets the electric eel apart is not its appearance, but its unique ability, the power to generate electricity. In His infinite wisdom, God bestowed the electric eel with an extraordinary gift, the ability to produce electrical discharges of up to 600 volts, enough to stun or incapacitate any creature encroaching on its territory. Its body contains thousands of specialized cells called electrocytes, functioning like tiny batteries connected in series. When threatened or hunting, the eel releases this electricity with precision and power, as if the Amazon itself were unleashing bolts of lightning from its depths. The electric eel is not an aggressive predator, but a master of skill and patience. It lurks silently on the riverbed, using its ability to detect electromagnetic signals to locate prey in the murky, dark waters. A single powerful discharge stuns small fish, shrimp, or crabs, allowing the eel to capture its prey effortlessly without prolonged struggle. But the electric eel is more than a predator. It plays a crucial role in the Amazon's ecosystem. As it moves and hunts, it stirs the riverbed, bringing nutrients from the bottom to the surface, supporting the growth of aquatic plants and microorganisms. Its existence is an integral part of maintaining the balance and vitality of the river. In the legends of the Amazon's indigenous people, the electric eel is more than a creature. It is a manifestation of power and mystery. Revered as the guardian of the river, it symbolizes latent energy and unyielding authority. They believe that God created the electric eel as a reminder that even in silence, unparalleled strength resides. Each time the electric eel releases a powerful charge, it is not merely an act of survival, it is a reminder that the Amazon River, with all its wonders and mysteries, holds an unparalleled vitality and boundless power. Look into the eyes of the electric eel and you will glimpse a fragment of the Amazon River, mysterious, powerful, and full of surprises. It is not just a creature of nature, it is a symbol of creation and strength, embodying the energy that God has imbued in this magnificent river. Unlike the electric eel, a solitary predator, the red-bellied piranha is a master of collective strategy. These fish don't hunt alone, they live and prey in schools, drawing strength from unity. When hunting, the entire school attacks like a storm, delivering lightning-fast bites that leave their prey with no chance to escape. Their razor-sharp teeth can tear through flesh and crush bones in mere seconds, making them relentless predators. Scientifically known as Pygocentris natureri, the red-bellied piranha, one of the most infamous and feared creatures of the Amazon, is a striking example of nature's power. Measuring only 20 to 30 centimeters in length, their compact but powerful bodies are covered in shimmering silver scales, accented by the vivid red of their bellies and fins. Their piercing eyes and razor-sharp teeth serve as a reminder that size is not the measure of strength. Sharpness and decisiveness are what command respect. Despite their fearsome reputation, red-bellied piranhas are not just aggressive hunters. They are the cleaners of the river, scavenging carcasses and organic debris to keep the waters of the Amazon clean. This role serves as a reminder that in every creature, no matter how intimidating, lies a sacred mission entrusted by God to sustain the natural cycle of life. Hidden among the dense foliage and intricate web of life in the Amazon, where sunlight barely reaches the forest floor, a small yet enigmatic creature resides, the spider. A creation of God, it is endowed with the remarkable ability to weave intricate and ingenious traps as if he intended to showcase nature's artistry in this tiny being. Amazonian spiders, with thousands of species, are extraordinary creatures crafted by God to balance and sustain life in the tropical rainforest. From giant hunting spiders with impressive size to golden orb weavers spinning radiant webs that shimmer in the sunlight, each species carries a unique purpose. In his infinite wisdom, God gave Amazonian spiders incredible abilities. Their silk, spun from their own bodies, is not only stronger than steel, but also the perfect tool for hunting. Spider webs are more than just traps. They are living works of art, glistening in the light and reflecting the harmony of strength and beauty. Spiders are not just silent predators, but also master strategists. They patiently wait for unsuspecting prey to stumble into their webs, then pounce with astonishing speed. Their long, agile legs move like a dancer's, executing precise, calculated movements that are both gentle and highly effective. But spiders do not hunt for themselves alone. They are guardians of balance in the Amazon. By controlling populations of insects and small animals, they prevent the ecosystem from tipping into chaos. Their role as silent forest keepers ensures that every link in the natural cycle continues seamlessly. In the culture of the Amazon's indigenous people, spiders are symbols of creativity and resilience. Legends tell of how God gave spiders the ability to weave webs as a reminder to humanity of nature's interconnectedness, that all things are linked. Each strand of a spider's web is believed to represent a thread of life, safeguarded and guided by God. These tiny spiders may often be overlooked, but their role is irreplaceable. Every web spun, every hunt completed, contributes to the rainforest's survival. God created spiders not just to exist, but to teach us about creativity, patience, and living in harmony with nature. Look closely at a spider's shimmering web among the Amazon's trees, and you will witness the marvel of creation, a symbol of perfection and infinite wisdom that God has etched into every thread. Deep within the lush greenery of the Amazon, where every corner holds an air of mystery, a small yet radiant creature appears like a living gem of nature. The poison dart frog, a creation of God, captivates with its dazzling beauty while instilling fear in all who dare to approach. Crafted as a reminder of the delicate balance between beauty and danger, the poison dart frog is a testament to God's infinite wisdom in the design of all living things. Scientifically known as Dendrobatidae, the poison dart frog is among the most striking inhabitants of the Amazon, measuring less than black's 5 centimeters. It is adorned in the most vibrant colors nature has to offer: brilliant yellows, neon greens, deep reds, and intricate patterns that look like living works of art. But do not let its brilliant appearance fool you. These colors are not meant to attract, but to warn. Within its tiny body lies a potent toxin, powerful enough to subdue any creature that dares challenge it. In his boundless creativity, God endowed the poison dart frog with a weapon that defies imagination. Its toxin, particularly yasta, batrachotoxin, one of the most potent natural poisons known, can paralyze muscles and stop a heart with just a minuscule amount. Remarkably, this toxin is not produced naturally by the frog, but is accumulated through its diet of small insects. This ingenious adaptation makes the poison dart frog a biological marvel, a creature that defends itself through the very sustenance it consumes. But what makes the poison dart frog truly extraordinary is not only its toxicity, but also the subtle elegance of its existence. Unlike aggressive predators, it lives quietly, yet with undeniable authority. Hidden among the leaves, it uses its vibrant colors as a silent shield, warning potential threats to think twice before attacking. Despite its size, the poison dart frog plays an irreplaceable role in the complex ecosystem of the Amazon. It acts as a regulator of insect populations, maintaining balance in the rainforest. By participating in the food chain, it connects every link in the cycle of life, from tiny insects to larger predators like snakes and birds. Its role is a reminder that even the smallest creatures can wield the power to shape an entire ecosystem. To the indigenous people of the Amazon, the poison dart frog is more than a creature. It is a messenger of God. Its vibrant colors are seen as a divine gift, a symbol of creativity and power. For generations, indigenous communities have learned to respect and harness its toxins for their blow darts, a practice steeped in reverence for nature. In ancient myths, the poison dart frog is revered as a guardian of the forest, embodying resilience and an unyielding spirit. These tiny frogs teach us profound lessons. Their radiant colors remind us that standing out does not equate to weakness, while their lethal toxins show that even the smallest beings carry immense power. God created the poison dart frog not merely to survive, but to inspire, to remind us that every corner of nature holds a balance and wisdom that transcends human understanding. Gaze upon the vibrant colors of the poison dart frog, and you will witness the marvel of creation, a perfect fusion of beauty, strength, and balance. They are not just creatures of the Amazon, they are symbols of the creativity and power that God has woven into every detail of life. Deep within the Amazon rainforest, where towering trees stand as guardians of life, an unrelenting tragedy unfolds. Wildfires and deforestation, two unstoppable forces of destruction, are ravaging the Earth's heart. The Amazon, called the planet's great green lungs, is not only crying out for help, but threatening the fragile balance of humanity's survival. Every year, millions of hectares of Amazon rainforest are consumed by raging wildfires. These fires are not all natural disasters. Most are ignited by the human hands. Flames are intentionally set to clear land for agriculture, cattle grazing, or resource extraction, turning the Amazon from a fortress of greenery into a charred, barren wasteland. When the fires ignite, it's not just trees that burn. Millions of animal and plant lives are lost. Jaguars lose their hunting grounds, sloths cling desperately to charred branches, and flocks of birds flee in panic, abandoning their homes. The flames destroy more than the landscape, they incinerate the future. If wildfires are an immediate catastrophe, deforestation is a slow, bleeding wound the Amazon endures daily. Towering ancient trees, once the pillars of life, are brought down by the sharp, cold teeth of chainsaws, leaving behind scars of emptiness on the planet's green lungs. What were once pristine forests, home to thousands of species, are now desolate clearings. Ecosystems are disrupted, rivers lose their natural protective barriers, and the soil becomes infertile, unable to sustain life. The Amazon is not just a forest, it is the lungs of the planet, absorbing billions of tons of carbon dioxide each year and producing vast amounts of oxygen essential for life. When the forest burns or is cleared, those lungs falter, releasing massive amounts of carbon into the atmosphere, accelerating climate change. Moreover, the loss of the Amazon means losing over 10% of the world's biodiversity. Rare animals like river dolphins, giant otters, and undiscovered medicinal plants face the risk of vanishing forever. The Amazon's destruction isn't just its loss, it is humanity losing its chance for a sustainable future. Despite this seemingly endless tragedy, hope still glimmers. Conservationists, international organizations, and indigenous communities are tirelessly fighting to protect the rainforest. Advanced technology helps detect wildfires early. Global movements advocating for reduced consumption of Amazon-destructive products like beef and illegal timber are gaining traction. Reforestation, ecosystem restoration, and community education about the Amazon's importance are also creating new rays of hope. Every tree planted, every forest protected is a small yet significant step towards saving the planet's green lungs. God created the Amazon as a miraculous gift to Earth, a place where life intertwines within the forest's protective embrace. Yet humanity, driven by greed and carelessness, has disrupted this sacred balance. Act now, save the rainforest, preserve life, and ensure that future generations won't bear the weight of the destruction we've caused. The Amazon is more than a forest, it is the breath of the planet, the heartbeat of life. Don't let the flames of greed and destruction take away the gift God has bestowed upon us. The Amazon rainforest, the planet's green lungs, is a miraculous gift God has bestowed upon humanity. It is not only a sanctuary for millions of plant and animal species, but also a living symbol of harmony between nature and divine creation. Yet like all precious things, the Amazon needs our protection. The ARPA project, the world's largest conservation program, stands as a shield guarding the Amazon against human destruction and the threats of climate change. Since 2002, with support from the Brazilian government and international organizations, ARPA has successfully protected over 128 million hectares of forest. Not only curbing deforestation, but also fostering sustainable development for communities that depend on the forest. The most moving stories come from the indigenous peoples, like the Kayapo tribe, who have risen to defend their home. With the help of NGOs, they have established their own reserves, managing and safeguarding over 11 million hectares of forest, where wildlife like macaws and the long-tailed boa can continue to thrive peacefully. Thanks to these tireless efforts, deforestation rates have dropped significantly, and the Amazon is slowly but surely beginning to heal. Like all miracles in the Bible, the salvation of the Amazon stems not only from science, but also from our faith, love, and humanity's unity with nature. God created the Amazon as a home for millions of species, a testament to His boundless love for all living things on Earth. We live under the shade of the Amazon's vast canopy, benefiting from the life it breathes into our planet. But with this gift comes the responsibility to preserve and sustain its biodiversity. We don't need to wait for monumental solutions. Every small action from you, from me, from all of us can make a difference. Supporting conservation projects, spreading awareness, or simply living responsibly with nature, all these efforts contribute to protecting the Amazon. The Amazon is more than just a forest. It is a living testament to God's infinite love. Let us protect this miraculous gift, so millions of creatures can continue to call it home, and so our planet may always have a green, vibrant future.
Power, instinct, and the quiet miracles of nature. Amid endless taiga forests, frozen rivers, and white tundra plains, every creature from the smallest to the most powerful carries a story of survival, an unending song of resilience. Yet this primal beauty is fading. Deforestation, logging, and mining expansion are carving deep wounds into the heart of the taiga home of the Siberian tiger, brown bear, and gray wolf. The once sacred silence of the forest is broken by the roar of chainsaws. Logging trucks rumble across lands where tigers once stalked, where bears hibernated, where wolves once howled at the icy moon. Poaching continues, quiet and ruthless, like shadows in the night. Despite protective laws, black markets still thrive, trading tiger bones, bear pelts, and claws, turning symbols of life into luxury goods for human greed. Even as tiger numbers rise thanks to conservation, every trap laid in the forest is still a death sentence for the wild. Meanwhile, new oil fields, pipelines, railways, and mines open paths for development, but block the paths of migration and life. Reindeer herds that once traveled thousands of kilometers now find their routes severed by metal fences and concrete roads. In some regions, their numbers have fallen by up to 50%, and ancient trails through the snow are vanishing. Every hammer strike, every road built, is another scar on the back of Siberia. Climate change is advancing at a terrifying pace. Temperatures here are rising 3 times faster than the global average. Ice melts, winters shorten, summers lengthen, forests burn, rivers dry, and natural cycles fall apart. Bears awaken before winter ends, wolves lose their prey, and tigers are forced to approach villages to hunt. The permafrost, the foundation of this land, is melting, collapsing the ground, reshaping rivers, and erasing forests that have stood still for millennia. Wildfires now rage across the taiga, devouring millions of hectares once the shelter of countless species. After the flames, there is only silence, a white, lifeless silence. Scientists warn that if nothing changes, up to 30% of the Siberian tiger population could disappear within decades. And yet, amid destruction, there is still hope. International organizations, led by the WWF, are fighting to restore life, from protecting sea ice for the polar bear to reducing carbon emissions that slow the melt. In Franz Josef Land, one of Russia's strictest nature reserves, the last polar bears still wander across the ice, teaching their cubs to swim, to hunt, and to keep alive the fading spirit of the Ice Age. Today, only 31,000 polar bears remain on Earth. Without decisive action, that number may fall by 30% by 2050. The Siberian tiger, symbol of this land, once numbered only 30 individuals in the early 20th century. Thanks to the 1,947 hunting ban and decades of conservation, that number has risen to about 500. This is not only a biological victory, but proof that human compassion can still triumph over greed. The Siberian gray wolf thrives under protection in the Pudorana Reserve, spanning 1.8 million hectares free to breed, hunt, and sustain a stable population of 40,000 individuals. The Siberian brown bear is also safeguarded in pristine forests such as Kranatsky and Sikhotia Lin, maintaining an estimated 120,000 individuals across Russia. These successes are rays of hope, but never enough. To truly protect Siberia requires more than laws. It demands awakening within the human soul. Nature does not simply need to be preserved. It must be understood and respected. If the taiga falls, the snow will melt faster. If the reindeer vanish, the grass will die. If the tiger disappears, the forest will go silent. And if the permafrost melts, the earth will warm along with Siberia. Beneath the frozen sky, the resilient still endure. The polar bear, the solitary king of the frozen sea. The reindeer's symbol of endurance. The gray wolf spirit of unity and strategy. The brown bear, the sleeper who renews. And the Siberian tiger, the silent lord of the taiga. Each one bears witness to the Creator's power, to the divine design that gave every being both instinct and purpose. From them, we learn patience, adaptation, strength, and humility before nature. Siberia, the land of ice, wind, silence, and soul. A place where beauty and brutality coexist, where every breath is a miracle, and every living creature is a warrior. But if humanity remains indifferent, the eternal winter of Siberia will melt, and with it, the final songs of the wild. Now, the responsibility is ours. We who were entrusted to guard this earth, let us act. Let us protect and honor life itself. Because nature does not need humanity, but humanity cannot live without nature. Siberia still breathes. The forest still waits for spring. The tiger still stalks in the snow. The reindeer still migrate. The mother bear still rocks her cubs in the ice cave. And if we listen closely, we will hear the heartbeat of the earth, steady, enduring, eternal, like the legendary land called Siberia. If the breathtaking images of Siberia have touched your heart, if the stories of the Siberian tiger, the polar bear, the gray wolf, the reindeer, and the endless taiga forests have reminded you of how vast and beautiful this world truly is, and if you believe that nature deserves to be heard, protected, and told in the most honest way, then please don't leave before subscribing. Hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell, because every single subscription not only helps us continue creating these painstakingly crafted documentaries, but also helps spread the message of conservation to millions of others. When you subscribe, you become part of a journey through the deep ancient taiga forests, a journey across endless snowfields, tundra plains, and eternal ice, a journey following the Siberian tiger through the night, the reindeer on their great migration, and the gray wolf hunting through blizzards, a journey to tell the stories that nature cannot speak for itself. You are not just following a YouTube channel. You become a guardian, a witness, and an inspiration for the next generation. Join us in writing the next chapters of the forest, the ice, the wildlife, and the hope that still lives within this frozen kingdom. Click subscribe and step into the wild world waiting ahead, where every frame is a breath of life, every sound is a reminder, and every expedition is a miracle of the earth. Subscribe today so you never miss a single story from the legendary realm called Siberia, and so your voice becomes part of the mission to protect life in the last great kingdom of ice.
When God painted the African savanna, He did not merely stretch endless grasslands to the horizon. He did not only breathe into it winds carrying the essence of nature, nor did He only pour upon it the golden light of the sun and the life-giving rains. God created the savanna as a masterpiece of harmony, a land where every creature has a role, a purpose, a destiny that cannot be replaced. He created the elephant to guard the forests, to clear the way for water, to carry the memory of this land across generations. He created the rhino to protect nature with endurance, to uphold a balance no other beast could sustain. He created the lion to restore order to the food chain, to ensure that this land would never fall into chaos. He created the wildebeest to spread the pulse of life across the plains, to connect all living beings in this great land. But now, these creations are disappearing, not because nature willed it, but because mankind has forgotten why God placed them in this world. God gave humanity strength to protect, not to rule. God granted humans power, not for dominion, but for stewardship. He gave us wisdom, not for destruction, but for preservation. He placed us within nature, not to exploit it, but to learn to live in harmony with it. Our responsibility is not to decide which creatures deserve to live or die. It is to ensure that they continue to exist, just as God intended from the dawn of time. If the savanna still stands, we must defend it. If elephants still walk, we must safeguard their home. If lions still roar in the night, we must secure their lands. If even one rhino, one wildebeest, one leopard remains, then hope is not lost. We still have time to right our wrongs,